tell everybody again what you've had for your tea? So I just found out what size just had for his tea just then. Just tell everybody again. Yeah.
Even though my diet's going really well since the 1st of January, I've had sausage, egg, chips, brown sauce and red sauce, and half a loaf of Warburtons.
Can you do a dinner with brown sauce and red sauce? How do you work that out?
Because I like a squirt of brown on one corner,
yeah,
and a squirt of red on the other.
No mayonnaise, Si. No mayonnaise.
If I have 2 bacon sandwiches, one's got to be red sauce and one's got to be brown sauce. I'm weird like that. If I make pieces of toast, I've got to have one plain piece of toast and one with Marmite or Vegemite on it.
Vegemite? I haven't had Vegemite.
Can't put it on both pieces.
Why?
I don't know. I can't. I'm fucking weird. Like, if I have a paste on toast, like say if I go in the fridge and there's some tuna paste, I think, oh, mint tuna paste. I love tuna paste. And I put some on some toast. I'll put 2 pieces of toast in. I'll only put it on one.
I think, you're the only person in this day and age that eats tuna paste and chicken paste. And does you still buy all that paste stuff?
Yeah, well, I do.
I know, that's what I mean.
That's what I mean. But yeah, still, when we were kids, we lived on it for sandwiches and stuff. And
you wouldn't come up yourself going, oh, I think I'll just pick up one of them, will you? It come from our mum, didn't it? All that paste.
Yeah.
I can't believe you still eat it, Si. I just can't believe
I do. I still buy them all. But I only like the beef ones. I don't like the chicken one. That's awful. But I like the beef and I like the tuna and mayonnaise one.
Si, they all taste the same, really, if you think about it.
You don't know.
You do, Si.
And sardine one. I like the sardine one as well.
Hey, Si, look who's here.
Talking to you yesterday. The best thing about it was when we did our Phantom Menace stream.
Right.
And there's that picture of him from like nearly 30 years ago, leaning in that queue. You can't make this stuff up, can you? You just can't make it up.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up. I love Ardes. He's just brilliant. Isn't he? Just brilliant. I love that fact we're all saying how packed the cinema. Oh, the cinema's packed, and then Des sends that picture, just him sat there.
That's how they are though today, cinemas, isn't it? It's exactly how they are today.
Oh, someone's just celebrated a birthday. Howard Gerard.
25 yesterday.
Was it yesterday? He did loads of birthdays to us. Gerard's yesterday. Good old Kenny's today. Mr. Berry's tomorrow. Claire's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Hi, Kieran. Oh, here is Claire. So happy birthday for Sunday, Claire.
It's in Brighton this week.
I reserve judgment just in case we get a question. Well, you might do, you might not do, because this is me. I haven't done a stream actually together for a while. But Tub Thumpers is back on the 19th. So questions, magician, and there's a new segment in Tub Thumpers this season. Season 3 already of Tub Thumpers. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 40 people in the chat, so thanks everyone. What me and Si going to do is just talk about some stuff. Got some stuff to show. Si's got some stuff to show. I've got a story to tell everybody. So it'll be good. It'll be good fun tonight. I will not gonna hold her up. What are you laughing at?
I know what your story's about. You think? Do you know what I mean? There's other places for stories like this, and other channels and stuff.
Other places for stories like this. Brilliant. Oh, look, he's here. Our DTM's here. Everybody's turned up. Oppie's here. Keith's here. Mr. Reynolds is here. Yo, yo, yo. Hey, Reynolds.
I tell you what, Keith showed us that thing again the other night. His Night Industries custom Playmobil truck, and that is just so quality, that, isn't it? You'd love to have one of them to go your Night Rider Playmobil, wouldn't you?
I've said it since we started this YouTube thing. One of my fascinations for me, especially because I'm in the furniture business, and you know, I mean, we're both creative, aren't we? We're not making big heads of ourselves. That's what we do for our jobs. You know, you draw and I make furniture. So I'm always fascinated by what other people collect and what other people can do. And it's funny, isn't it? When you meet all these people and you get to know all these people and watch the videos, how many people are there that are very talented, like Keith? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, blows my mind. Some of these these painters, and it's mad how you can take little mini things and just take crap and just turn it into like a fortress or a front door or a space base. It's just mad, isn't it, what they can do?
Yeah. There's a few lads that do it, you know what I mean? And I like the photography as well, the way all the photography does. Yeah, Smith Lord's here. Oh, I get to meet this bloke in a couple of months. I can't believe I get to meet him in a couple. I can't wait to meet him. Cannot wait.
Oh, you'll like him a lot. He was very warm welcome when he came to the toy fair, and it was great to see him. It really was.
Well,
And I think it was last of the surrealists. You know, like when you meet these people you've watched for so long, and you still get a little bit like, oh no way. Well, it was like that seeing Chris when he came. It was mint.
I can't wait to meet him. Cannot wait. It's not going to be weird though, because me and John were super awesome. We're talking about it. That was the first time last year that I'd actually met John real, you know what I mean, live, if you will, you know, instead of watching other. And I've been with John, and me, Matt, and Tez have done, you know, streaming with John and so forth since day one, since the very beginning. So there's no awkwardness, and I'm not a person that's awkward anyway. I don't make people feel awkward. Do you know what I mean? I'm always dead welcoming. So I can't wait. I can't wait to meet Chris. I think we're gonna have a good time with him. Hi, Kat. Nice to see you, pal.
Kat.
Ricardo's here. Hi, Ricardo. Everyone's turned up. Wow, this is absolutely brilliant. Oh, so, I tell you what, look who else is here. Lemire's here. He's streaming tonight, Si, 10 o'clock.
I know, yeah. Disco Kid. Is he on at 10? 10 for you or 10 for me?
10 for me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You'll still be up, Si. You'll still be up 3 o'clock in the morning. Oppie's here. So, yeah, it'd be nice to see Ollie Chronicles tonight. Let's have a look. Si, can't let the soul streams go. That's what I thought.
Can I tell you something though, Kieran? That's really like Claire hates me for this. She really does. But as much as I put red sauce and brown sauce on the individual butties, they both come with mayonnaise as well. I can't have a bacon or a sausage sandwich without brown or red sauce on each, but they've both got to come with mayonnaise as well.
Would you have it both together on a sandwich though? Would you put brown and red on a bacon sandwich together, or do you have to?
I have done many a time. It depends. Sometimes when you get like cheap brown sauces and you're like, oh, they're pretty shit then. Then you've got to mix it up a bit, haven't you, and put a bit of red on.
Oh, well, Luke says, forget that. I still have meat paste sandwiches and meat paste on toast. I like meat paste on toast, yeah.
See?
Yeah, here we go. DTM, tuna paste used to be all right, not had it in years.
Oh, honestly, Dave, go to the shop, get yourself a pack of your favourite crisps, get some Warburton's bread, just get some proper nice paste, your favourite you loved, and I'll tell you, you'll be like, oh, this is mint. I can't balance it on my knee like Shabby does. I can't do that, but I love having a paste sandwich.
Balance it on your knee. After the Shabby stream, I had to go and watch the movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny.
You forget how good it is, don't you, Mark? You do, don't you? You do.
100%. You forget, and then you forget as well. Here's another thing too, because we wanted to, people to pull out a couple of things for the Phantom Menace or whatever. But you forget how much stuff you've actually got for the Phantom Menace. I pulled a few other things out tonight that I'll show you that coincide with that movie. But yeah,
do you think, Mark? Because at that time, you and me, Phantom Menace came out when we were 23, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, at 23, you're making your own money. Do you think we bought so much Phantom Menace stuff was because for once in our Star Wars generation as we were younger, this was our own money we were spending? We never bought anything from Return of the Jedi or anything. Your mum did. She bought all that. Anne-Marie bought everything. Yeah. But once the Phantom Menace came round, you had your own money. So do you think that's why we're a bit flooded with Phantom Menace stuff, a lot of us? Because
I don't think I bought that much Phantom Menace stuff at 23 though. I think it was older as you got more. I've always collected here and there, but there are times, like everybody in the chat, that you come off it a bit, you're working, you get married, that kind of, you have your kids or whatever, so you're not buying as much. But at 23, I'd just moved to this. I was just more or less in the States at 23, and I saw the Phantom Menace originally when it first came out in America. But I don't think I bought the merchandise then. I don't think I was buying the figures and so forth at 23. I think as I got a bit older, and then I'm picking them up at flea markets and yard sales, or when they went on clearance, that kind of thing. But I don't remember, Simon, actually buying episode 1 merch when episode 1 was out. Do you?
Yeah, because at the time I was working at Birstie's toy shop through college as well.
Yeah.
And we used to get flooded in it, and because it was like a big card shop that sold soft toys and stuff, the amount of Phantom Menace stuff we got in was untrue. Yeah. I was talking about before, boxes of stickers, big banners, and I got all the banners. They're in a previous video that we put up on yours when I got all my posters out. Loads of these old banners that I've still got.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just as you realise, like, under Disney and the tragedy Star Wars has become, a lot of it, how like special Phantom Menace feels now. It just feels like a proper Lucasfilm Star Wars. Because I'll agree at the time, like Matt's Collection said it, and he was dead right. There was a lot of people a bit like, this isn't Star Wars, what's this?
See, I
And I
was
didn't
never
get
like
that.
I
But
didn't.
I
I was
like what I was
liking them
seeing,
a lot.
Mark. That's the thing. It wasn't like I was disliking what I was watching. So,
Yeah.
you know, battle droids, that's the thing, were a massive big difference from stormtroopers. But because I liked what I was watching, it wasn't. It's like, say if the sequels were absolutely mint, right? And they were
Yeah.
much beloved by everybody, we would have looked at that new Stormtrooper outfit a completely different way. And yet, for me, since the sequels has been and gone, and they've been the failures at what they were, that Stormtrooper outfit just seems to have disappeared. I don't see it in absolute. I've seen more of the 77 Stormtrooper than I do of anything in that new one.
Well, it's the same as BB-8. Remember BB-8? What happened to him?
BB-8, another one. Where's his R2D2 lore? At the time, he was treated like this is your third droid, and I never see it in anything.
Hi, Miriam. No, it's funny, but it's a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because we say things like failures, but it kind of wasn't. Every one of them made over $1 billion each. First one made over $2 billion. So it's hard in it to work out. It really is. But then when I woke up this morning and all over the news, it's 700,000 subscribers lost from Disney Plus. You're like, oh, it's a bit, you know what I mean? But listen, all it takes. I've always said, Simon, all it takes is that one movie in its eye, and then everyone's back to normal. Hey, Mr. B, nice to see you, buddy. 55 people in the chat. Wow, you absolute legends. Absolute. So I'm just going to get down the chat a little bit. Hey, Steve, nice to see you, buddy.
Steve.
All right, Stu. I want to ask you a question, Simon. I want to ask you something. Let's see. Can you explain? Let's have a look. This to me, Si.
Yeah.
So what was? So I tuned in, right? Because I've got to admit, mate.
Hang on, look, I can do the same face. Look.
You got to say.
Remember airplane? Bad thing to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah, look at that face. Absolutely. So anyway, I didn't know about this. I didn't know you were going on it, and what is it? So I turned the TV on and I saw the lads in the chat talking about it. So, I'll go and watch Si on this. But you've always had an approach to this. I never have.
No, Mark, why are you so diplomatic? You watched that show for 10 minutes and thought, Si is still a massive twat. There's no way I'm watching this any longer. And...
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. You know what I mean? And...
No, John said he's doing a new science thing, and he's talking about things that, well, you can tell by my questions of the week. I love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but
conspiracies and aliens and Egyptology and reptilians in the Anukai and anything like that. Project Bluebeam, the lot.
Yeah.
So when John said he's doing a show, would I like to come on? I was like, yes, I would. And 2 hours of basically side questions. Loved it. Great show. And I hope he invites me on again.
Side questions. Oh, it sounds funny.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And if you ask me again, like I said, and it was good because like Lack and John, all said and done, they know the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so it was it was an interesting conversation with them. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. Watch it, you lot's good.
The thing about it, I've got to admit, maybe it's just a thing because I don't know anything about stuff, and my mind never goes to stuff like that. You know, we were talking to Usual Mike, weren't we, a couple of nights back, and I said if I ever came out of my house, and there was a ship above it and all that, I would shit myself. I won't last 2 minutes. I won't come out the house, and it always, I think, for me, why I don't think about it so much, because every time you maybe see a movie about an alien invasion or this and that, it's always scary, isn't it? It's always like, you know, they're here to invade us, they're here to attack us. So I've kind of like gone, but I've never really thought about it at all, me. But then I watched you and I watched Lack and I watched Super Awesome, and I thought, yeah, it's interesting, but I just can't. It's going to sound stupid, this, and I don't mean this in a condescending way. I just can't stop laughing at stuff like that because
Tin Hat Brigade, Mark. Do you find it the Tin Hat Brigade?
Well, in a way, yeah. It's like when you lot talk about ghosts and stuff. I just start laughing, and I always. You know, what makes me laugh the most is when someone takes it dead serious. Oh no, there was that time when that door.
Yeah, well, I always go for the same thing with the paranormal. Until you've experienced it, you're gonna not believe it. You're gonna find it a bit foddish, and but until something happens to you, then you'll think differently completely.
Like that. Stu says, I would like to say hi to each of you individually, but I'm going to say hi to everyone. Yeah, what started all this? It's always
Now, let me say something. I'm not
Go on,
ignorant
Si.
with that, right? I
Yeah.
will say Howdy Partners. Now, Howdy Partners is my Japanese writing. I've used it from day one. That's what I always put. And then people say
Georgie.
hello. But instead of me going saying hello to everybody, I just say tip of the cap to all in chat. Because what is the point of me for 20 minutes writing hello, 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 hello,
I always do
hello,
it, though.
hello?
I always do.
Yeah, but you and Connor, like Connor, and I don't know about you, Esther, in the chat, but Connor's got this thing that he owes it to people to say hiya.
Yeah, you do, though. It's just respectful, I think. If someone might
does not tip in the chat then, all in tip of the cap of all in the chat, does that not say hello to everybody?
No, I think it's rude time, very disrespectful. I think you should stop doing it.
But it does, though, doesn't it?
The worst for me is when you miss somebody. Because if someone says hello to me, I'm going to say hello back to him individually. Hiya, Stu, hiya, Gerard, hiya, Miriam, that kind of thing. I'm going to say hello back if they say hello to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's different for you because you can't write in the chat. And when the names approach and they're saying hello to you, then obviously through manage, you'll say, hiya, thanks for coming. But in the chat, I'm trying to watch the telly.
Yeah, Dave. Hey, Shabby and Si, and all you wonderful legends in the chat. Say hello to them. Don't forget to say hello to them all individually, Wayne. I was carried on sleeping as I crashed out on the sofa a short while. Age that, Wayne. Age that. But just woke up to join the chat. Good timing. Great timing. What do you reckon, Si? Great timing.
Well, can't be missed if you wanted to get up and watch this. Great.
Here we go. So, Connor's put Hollow Connor. Yeah, it would be nice. We haven't done one for ages. So if you're up, I know it's 3:00 in the morning for the UK and Irish lads.
Hey, Mark, it's on all the time. Or we can watch it at 8 o'clock tomorrow evening or 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon on the dinner. Or
Palpatine says there's nothing worse than watery brown sauce.
Now, I'll tell you something, right? I used to think that there was no better brown sauce than HP. HP was always the king. I know yours is Daddy's in it. You love Daddy's brown sauce, don't you? But when Gerard sent me a bottle of sauce over there called Chef sauce, which is brown sauce, and I tell you what, it's a bit of rivalry. That's all I'll say.
Chef sauce. I've never had it. Chef. Did he sell it in England?
Called, yeah. I've not seen it here. You must have
Coxie says, I still eat chicken paste now. I've been eating it all my life. What are you talking about, Shabs? He's saying, I eat it. I don't think we sell it here. There's no American in the chat I've seen yet. Or maybe, Mr. B might know, and a couple of others might know, but I don't think they sell like the pastes in jars.
They must do.
I don't know. You say that, but they don't do cordials. They've started doing them, though. They started doing it really mini things, cordial side, where you just spray a bit in. But a big bottle like Robinson's and Vimto, no chance. You're never going to find
Why is that the case, though? Like, it's 2025. Why do they still not have cordials? You're not like the third world, is it?
I'll never forget Jen's mum and dad. They came to visit us in England. We lived in England, right, Si? That was a experience. And anyway, he wakes up. I wake up in the morning, and Forrest, my father-in-law's called Forrest, and he's
met him, yeah, nice man.
And he's got these drinks, and he's talking, "Hey, morning, Mark," and all that, and he's drinking. And as he's drinking it, he's going like right. And I'm like, what the fancy's he got in there, right? So I thought, I know coffee's not that bad, but so he's drinking it and he's wincing away. I said, what are you drinking? He goes, Vimto. And I said, did you put water in it? He goes, no. Oh, what have you done? Yeah. Because he had no idea, so he's got this Vimto bottle. He's poured the whole lot in and
it's round all week like that.
Drinking it like that. And he's...
God, I bet he thought, these British are crazy.
I said, you meant to put water in it. And he goes, oh, right. But yeah, that's
what I knew. Didn't know, and it's not a thing. You wouldn't, would you?
Travels with Jason says, got a question. Is anyone else watching this on Xbox? On Xbox? Or have you got the chat up on TV? As mine one has gone. Yours is gone. What do you mean yours is gone?
His chat's gone.
His chat's gone. Oh.
That's why you should have bought a PlayStation 5 then, shouldn't you?
Xbox. Listen to him, Xbox. Here we go. Our Steve says, tuna with mayo, salad cream. I haven't had salad cream, Steve, in about 15 years. No, tell a lie. My mum sent a jar of it about 5 years ago, and it didn't last 2 minutes. I always like salad cream with chicken. You know, on a chicken sandwich.
On chicken burgers, I like salad cream.
Yeah. Weird, that, innit? Certain things that you have and so forth. And then half that Branston pickle's gone already, say, as well. So,
and if there's a sauce that my Claire will have, it's salad cream. She's not one for sauce at all.
That's age, that's age.
Do you know? Can I ask you something about Gerard Kane? Right? When you look at Gerard's dinners, does it not ring a bell with you? Because I'm like, you eat exactly how I eat, mayonnaise on everything, and sides of bread and chips with everything. And
I agree, because we were talking to
he has that like heart attack diet that I've got.
It's a cardiac delight, so it's a cardiac delight. You know what I mean? I don't know whether Miriam loves him or she just wants to finish him off.
Yeah, but he's built like a rake. I don't understand how we eat the same dinners and I'm built like this, and he's built super thin, but he's up, innit, Gerard? He's doing things. He's one of them, innit?
It's funny because I watched Berry before. We were talking to Adam Berry before, and he's making his own dinner and he's cutting his veg up, and it looked gorgeous, his dinner. Don't get me wrong, it looked really nice. But then you look at Miriam's, and you're like, yeah,
that's it. And from a fat kid's perspective,
and from someone, believe it or not, who has enjoyed dinners his whole life.
Oh, from a fat kid's perspective, Miriam will always win.
I love Miriam. Yeah. I you know what I love about that? I love the fact that he's proud as punches what she's made, and he's put it up, and I'm like,
for his Spider-Man plate, brilliant.
And his desserts too, and all that custard. He gets like a king, that boy, like a king.
I'd say, I will say one thing, Mark. It's a shame you can't come over and stuff, and especially when we go to Dublin, because. And everybody who's met them will vouch for me in that chat. Miriam and Gerard are just beautiful humans. Pair of them, just amazing. I've been to Dublin now a few times. My mum came with me last time. My mum was like, they're like old friends, aren't they? I said, I told you, they're just a lovely couple. They're just really, really lovely. So I always look forward to meeting up with them, and I'll be looking forward to meeting up with them again this August. We have a great time.
They're awesome. I didn't think Si could offend me anymore after his questions and magic tricks, but his obsession is freaking his sauce obsession. Si, you got a sauce obsession?
Yeah.
Is that it, Si? Yeah. So I talked about you on John's, which was awesome. It was nice to see you, but I was on this side. I was on Stu's quiz.
Oh, I watched you.
I tell you what, that it's weird, Stu's quiz, man, because it's funny. You think you know Star Wars, and you're like, oh yeah, and you'll sit there, and we've all talked about this before. You'll sit there when somebody else is on, you're like, how did he not know that? Do you know what I mean? Or you'll go, oh my god, how did he get that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was me, Gups, because I thought Gups was going to win. I mean, I knew that Trenton would do well, and I thought G-Force, because me and G-Force did well last time we were in the group together last year. And we both got 7 points each. And I kind of beat that this year, but I enjoy it. But my God, it's hard. Did you not think that when you did it?
No, I heard you say that on your stream, but I can honestly say I think Stu's show is very fair and good questions. It all depends what you got on the night. Like on the night I was on Stu's, I came last, and I felt a bit like, oh my God, it's like I don't know anything. Week after, I got 7 out of 12. 7. So I was like to my mum, I said, well, if I'd have been on this week, I'd have got through. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. On your show, I did a lot better than mine. I just think it all depends what questions you know. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Because I agree with that. I thought, oh, God, it was tough when I was on. But week after, I did really well. Week after that, did okay. So, again, I think it's just what questions are going to be pulled out the bag.
Yeah. What question's going to be pulled out? You're right. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. It's good fun. Hi, Steph. Nice to see you, buddy.
And the truth is, Mark, is at the end, there's no 50,000 prize, so it gives a shit.
Shabby, don't pretend you buy figures, you buy dolls. Well, I'm glad you said that, because I've got something to talk about. So, let me just get me. I've got a story for us all. So if you all get wrapped up and
I might just go and grab the whiskey.
Sit up, Si. What is it? You'll like this story. So if I fall behind the chat, it's because it's a good story. So when we inside were kids, we had this place right here, right? And it's called Lewis's. All right. So do you remember this? Do you remember this place?
Oh, love that shop. Loved it.
So it was a huge department store in Blackpool. Now the tower is right next to it. Is that right, Si? To the right of that?
Yeah, just Tower's right next door there. But one of my favourite things about Lewis's, Mark, is do you not remember that every Christmas we used to always get our school coats from Lewis's? And we'd go and you'd always pick a nice coat for that year at school. I used to love getting me coats from Lewis's.
I've always been fond of what is it, big department stores. When I lived in London, I loved going to Selfridges and Liberties, and I've always had a thing, a fascination of them, you know. I love the way they're all set up and they're all like, they're always busy and so forth. And I didn't realise, and I didn't know this, Lewis's didn't go out of business till 1991. I thought it was a lot younger than that, but I was reading the research on it today and so forth. And 230 people were out of a job when it shut down, just made no money at all, which is weird, isn't it, really?
Yeah, because I always remember that being really busy when we were kids.
I do.
Well, I suppose the shopping experience has changed for a lot of people, hasn't it? That's always the way that I always remember. That way you're getting in, not the promenade, the back way. The
reason I pulled this picture up, size, because down here, as you can see, these are all the massive windows. And we all talk about nostalgia when it comes to toys or whatever, or pop culture. We talk about, you know, and we always have vivid memories. Like my vivid memories, Return of the Jedi, seeing Luke, or you're watching this. But one of my vivid memories was always the toy displays that were in Lewis's, that were in the windows. And there was a couple of them that always stood out that for some reason, even at 49, now, I don't forget. And so the Star Wars one, do you remember the Star Wars one saying it had the Palatoy Death Star in the corner on that round thing and the ships hanging down and so forth?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Because these windows are huge, do you know what I mean? So when we were kids, this just looked like a galactic place far, far away.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'll always remember in this window was Gem and the Holograms, right? I'll always remember it. And the reason for that is because of the colours of it. So I'll never forget it. It was all the neon greens and the pinks and and I just thought that looks, I mean, how old was I? Must have been 10, 11. Yeah, Jen was 85. It's the 40th anniversary this year. And so I always had a fascination for Gem simply because of that toy. I didn't care. I'm one of those books. I got flack off you lot for it when I was a kid because I always liked Gem and the Holograms. But there was just something about it. Do you know what I mean? I love the cartoon, and maybe it's the colours and whatever side that stuck with me. And I think the thing about Gem and the Hologram, Simon, it's one of those things that is stuck in the 80s. Do you not think?
Yeah, proper 80s nostalgia with Gem.
It's got the 80s look, the 80s. It's one of those things that hasn't, you know, it's not timeless, if you will. You knew that Gem was from the, you know, the 1980s. So I've always had an absolute fascination with it. I always have. Well, you know, times moved on, and Gem was just hit and miss. It was like Sectars, it was like Brave Star. It was here 1 minute and gone the next. It wasn't a long-standing thing, was it? Really? I mean, they tried to introduce it. They made a film a couple of years ago that flopped big time because it wasn't the Gem that we wanted. It was more of a social media kind of thing, and that's how they were done by that. So it wasn't really, you know, if you don't, there's a couple of movies side that
hang on. The Gem that we wanted. I remember being gutted. I felt like burning Hollywood down.
You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? Well, anyway, so I forgot all about Gem and all that sort of stuff, and then something will come up, and you'll go on eBay, and you're like, honestly, the prices for these is ridiculous. These box dolls, you're looking at 250, 300. At Joe Fest, they had the deluxe ones with the cassettes still in them and so forth. Honestly, I was talking to G-Force and Scuba about it, and I was like, $400, $450. So I thought, absolutely no chance. But what they did do, right? So when I was at Joe Fest, though, Si, I met this lady right here. Hang on a minute, where am I? This lady right here. Do you know who that is, Si?
Well, I do, because obviously we spoke about it since. Hey, look, Mark, you've got the same clothes on. Do the same clothes.
I've changed my shirt. That size Samantha Newick, and Samantha Newick played Gem. Yeah. And I didn't know she was going to be there until a couple of days before Joe.
You know, it's people like that to me that are the starstruck ones for me. It's like you can put any Hollywood actor in front of me. When I see these people from like Return of the Jedi, there was Bib Fortuna, there's Ken Tolley, there was Femi Taylor. That's what really gets me starstruck. People like this who voiced Gem for all them years, and it always felt like that otherworldly Hollywood place at the time. That people like that, I do generally get your starstruckness from. I do.
And I was, to be honest. But the thing is,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the truth. Now we'll all be friends, and there's 60 people in the chat. I'll tell you the true story. So the Valaverse panel was on at the time, side, you know, the military Valaverse with Bobby Valor and all that, and Scoob and G-Force and the lads. Oh, yeah, we're all going to go to the Valaverse. And I was like to G-Force, oh, I feel a bit tired, G-Force. I feel a bit tired, Scuba. I need a break. I need to go to the toilet. And all right, Shabby. Well, we'll meet you there, no problem. But the truth was, I wanted to meet her on my own. I wanted to. But I didn't want the rip taken out of his side. I didn't want to go, oh, Shabby, it's only Gem and all that. Because I've always been fond of her. So what a nice woman she was, Si. Honestly, Samantha knew. And I found out as well that she was born in London. And so what happens is you can either buy a couple of things. You had merchandise like gem earrings and gem candles, that kind of thing, and you paid for that. And it was quite pricey, actually. I think for a autograph was $35, and then this and that. But I got talking to her for about 10 minutes. I was quite lucky, actually. She was honestly, she blew me away. And that's what I loved, exactly what you just said. Sometimes you'll meet somebody that you've admired for years. And the dickheads, aren't they? Like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Forget that, whatever.
Yeah.
This lady she made all that shit I got since I was a kid for liking Gem. She made it worth it, say, if you will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
it's a great story, that, because like I said, she is a proper legend. There's no doubt about it.
She was an absolute legend. But what she did was, so she wrote 2 Shabby and she put her name on there and you know, Synergy and all that sort of stuff. And then she wrote Samantha Newick on the actual figure, which I thought was awesome. But then she turned around and goes, because do you mind if I have my picture taken with you? And she had some assistant there. He wasn't being a dick. He was doing his job.
Maybe she knew you. Maybe she watched the Shabby Geek channel.
I don't like them. Maybe she's number 962 on the But anyway, and he's going, well, we don't really do pictures and videos or whatever. But and she said, oh, no, we'll do it. And then she goes, are you on YouTube? And I said, well, you know, I'm only small, but and all that. She goes, I can do an intro for your YouTube channel if you want. And I thought, oh, shit, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah, you would.
Free.
Yeah.
She did it for free. She went, no, I'll do it for you. So she came. So on the start, if you watch my video, at the start where Samantha Newick is talking, Satan, she goes the synergy and all that, doing that with her earring, like when she from Jericho to Gem. I just thought she was absolutely superb, absolutely superb.
Yeah, so, that's what you want, innit? Make your little experience feel like that. Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on. So anyway, last night I've started God, that's what I want right there.
Although, to be fair, Mark, all I got from that story was you couldn't wait to get away from G-Force and Scuba Pete.
Not at all. But anyway, so I get that, and that was in 2023. I've started a new Instagram page simply for my toys and my toying, because I've gone more on live streams now when it's come to YouTube, but I am a toy collector. So I've started this new page and I've put stuff up. Yesterday, I put that picture that you just saw of the signature of Gem on that page. Last night, something happened to me last night. So last night, I get a message off Geekstrong, right, Si? So Geekstrong messages me last night. And this is only last night. And he puts up this. Can you see that, Si, right there?
Yeah.
Right.
All
so
gems.
Let me just play this. So G-Force is doing one of his not G. I'm so sorry. Geekstrong. Geekstrong's out and he's doing his toy hunt, right? So he makes this video right here. So let me just pull it up for you. And let me just see if I can make that bigger. Yes, I can. Right there. Right.
Look at, they have Gem and the holograms. Are you kidding me? Is this a new thing? Is Gem back? I don't think she looks like the original, but again, I'm not sure. I never had a Gem. But here is the barcode if you're looking for Gem and the holograms. That's kind of cool to have, like a, is that 80s or 90s? But
so look at all these 80s stuff. Like there's Carmen San Diego.
It's a new figure here, but I remember her. But this is what I'm pretty much.
And even My Buddy side. Look at that.
Look at this. A My Buddy doll. Now, I have an original My Buddy.
God, yeah.
Bigger than this one, but this looks like.
So Geekstrong sends me that yesterday. I'm like, what? I can't believe it, because I'd not
Well,
heard
let's
of
be
it.
fair. There's been such a boom these past 5 years in 80s toys, like the Thundercats, the Turtles, God, Ghostbusters, list goes. So Rainbow Bright had a bit of a comeback. Strawberry Shortcakes had a comeback. It's only expected that these other companies that did well start to think, you know what, we'll get a line out.
Well, I'd never heard of this. I'd never heard of him bringing back Gem and doing all this and doing all that. So I messaged GeForce. I mean, Geek Shock. Sorry, I keep saying. I messaged Dino. I'll say Dino. I messaged Dino and I said, "Well, where's that?" He goes, "At Walmart, right?" So I went to Walmart yesterday, right? And there it was. So it's right here, and it's Loyal Subjects that are doing it, and it's Gem at $24.97, which I thought that's not bad at all. So anyway, bringing my story to a conclusion, I bought it last night, and Jen went to pick it up for me today in Fayetteville, and I've got it. Do you want to see what it looks like? So it came today. It came about an hour ago. I'm going to show you anyway. So I've not even seen it myself yet, Si, because it's still in the Walmart bag. Right? Oh man, what? Look!
Truly outrageous.
How cool is that? And it comes with the extra accessories, but this is what I mean. It takes me way back because look at the back of it, Si.
It's cool. The box should have been a lot more pink. Should have been added more foil to it, in my opinion. I'd be the Gem expert on dolls.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. So like I say, it's never going to come out of the box. And, you know, whether people laugh about it being a girl's toy, I couldn't care less. It's just, you know, we talk about nostalgia, and this is pure nostalgia for me, but for $25. But anyway, I came across the conclusion side that it's made by Loyal Subjects, right? So Loyal Subjects have started it and so forth, but it's got Hasbro on the back as well. So Hasbro must own the license for Gem, and they've give the IP to Loyal Subjects.
That's the talk, though, isn't it? That's the talk what they're doing anyway. So it must have started.
So it must have. So it must have done. So when we were talking about it, Si, and talking about, you know, what is Hasbro, because I think we've all heard the news, you know, that Hasbro's stopping making as many toys as they are, and their IP and the licenses and so forth. Looks like one of them is right here. The other thing, talking about Loyal Subjects, I want you to do is, as we all know, that they were talking about the mask, you know, and what's Mask's going to do and so forth. Well, they put out a statement. And so we haven't seen the Mask figures yet, but what the statement says is Mask has all the crazy features, vehicles, small figures with removable helmets, closed box packaging with that killer logo, all coming back. They're in the same scale, and we're serving it fresh, like it's been fresh straight from the 80s.
Now, for me, on discussion of talking about this last night, and especially watching Reynolds reviews videos, I admire the Mask collection. It's like when we were kids like you, it was always the Condor bike that we loved. And I think that was the only really, that and a couple of others is what all we had.
Yeah.
I would jump on this Mask new line if the price is right, because I'm getting so fed up of getting totally mugged off for the price that we pay for figures. It's off-putting after a while. We've had 5 years of this since COVID, and they've just got more and more expensive, where even Fallen Batmobile started off at, oh, look at us, fucking 60 quid for a Batmobile, and now it's 100 quid, and it's 100 and odd quid, and in that short space of time of like 18 months. So I'm going to say with them that if the price is justified for me, because they are small figures Mask, they are small vehicles Mask. Yeah. If they're starting talking $70, $80, forget it. No chance. I'm not going down that route.
The response I have to that is this. So Loyal Subjects started to make the Strawberry Shortcake pack. So they did the little ones that we remember, and then they did the actual same size dolls, but they did it fully articulated. And the Strawberry Shortcakes that they packed in with accessories, with the extra little, you know, I mean, Leslie knows probably better than I do, but that was only $19.99. This Gem doll that I just showed you comes with all sorts extra. It comes with a microphone, the stand, extra outfits of at $24.99. So it looks like to me that Loyal Subjects are pricing these figures to be bought. They're not. Now, I don't know, because Mask, like I say, is a big thing. But if they do it, I think Loyal Subjects will be a good price for them, considering what else they've brought out from the 80s that are reasonable. Because if that Gem doll was $60, $70, I'd be like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that gives you a bit. 25 quid for a 12-inch doll would be, that's justified today. Do you know what I mean? Accessories and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it's like they start getting these vehicles, Mark, and if they start doing what they're all doing, this one's hard to get, that one you've got to get from this place, this one's a chase, that one's a platinum. I'm like, it's just gone beyond a joke.
Yeah, I agree with
Cheers,
that.
Steph.
Don't only see is yes, Steph liked you on the evening. Everybody hope you're well. I'm just going to get down a little bit because, like I said, it's a great story, though, wasn't it? It's a great story. So,
Oh yeah, get down because I'm the first to kick your ass about being late in that chat. There's
well, it's
nothing.
just everyone
It's
said,
good I saw last Friday. Oh my god, she was nearly an hour behind on the chat.
Sure, Shabby can laugh now, but wait till he gets probed at night by an alien hand. It's no laughing matter. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's just a nervous thing for me, Si, because I, for example, if John Super Awesome said to me, "Do you want to come on and talk about aliens and all that sort of stuff?" I wouldn't know where to start, and I'd have a problem not turning it into a joke. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't.
Yeah,
so
but look at you, like, you live in the Blair Witch Project woods, so you must look out in the woods sometimes of the sky and think you've seen something like, what the hell's that? Because your skies in America are ginormous.
Different strokes for different folks, exactly right. So Wizzy saying hello to everybody, Si.
Wizards?
Chris, I always assumed you raised your voice anyway. Here we go. So here's Geek Strong. I can't say hi to everyone because I'm usually driving at work, but which means I can't see the chat. I'm usually only listening. Oh, it's nice to have you here, pal. It's lovely that you're listening. Thanks. Hey, Shabby Magavandanga. My doctor said I can touch myself whenever I want, but the wife insists that he said I could have
your own stroke.
Unbelievable. Does anyone remember chop sauce?
Yeah, I used to like chop sauce. Yeah, that was great on steaks, wasn't it? And fat chips, chop sauce. Like, you knew you was having a proper steak somewhere if you went out because they always give you chop sauce. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, pate, remember? See, pate we had at Christmas, didn't we, Si? Pate at Christmas.
I still buy it. 39p pot, the Brussels pot, Co-op's finest. I still buy it.
Chop sauce used to be brown sauce in the UK. So they don't make it anymore, Si? Chop sauce. Hey, Chief.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. No, to be fair, yeah. It's something you forget, innit? I've not seen it in a long time.
Isn't chop sauce just cheap brown sauce for
comedy? Whoa, we're northerners. Whoa. There's no cheap. It's northern.
We were
cheaper the brown sauce, the better.
We were built on cheap stuff, me inside. No problem. You know what I mean?
God, gravy mixed with a bit of puddle.
Oh, that sounds good. Coleslaw and a ham sandwich.
Yeah, I agree there.
My mum makes a good coleslaw. Oh, my Jenny makes a good coleslaw too. But they have it over here, but it's southern coleslaw. It's all really
now, see there, I have to disagree because I suffer really badly from sensitive teeth, and I can't eat hot and cold together. Like, I can't have a few chips and then eat a mouthful of coleslaw because I'll be like, oh, I can't do it.
Okay, we got some breaking news. Nothing is fried. Air fryer or oven, and the kids bought him in the dinner set one for Father's Day. Look at that. Awesome.
Oh, we swear by our air fryer since we got it. It's mint, innit? Bacon sandwiches in like 3 minutes. Oh, yes.
Well, I don't want to brag, but we do have the Drew Barrymore collection here, Si. Drew Barrymore collection. My wife went mental. It's like getting rid of the microwave. Nothing wrong with it.
You just explained why she agreed to that, Gemdo, because she's got her eye on something from the Drew Barrymore collection, hasn't she? You just said it right there.
The Drew Barrymore collection. Oh, God. The Drew Barrymore collection. Air fryers are game changers. They are, definitely. Yeah. There we go. Never met them in person, but Gerard, yeah, I'd love to meet Gerard and Miriam. I'd absolutely love to meet him. I really would. I'd love to meet you all, to be perfectly honest. And, you know, I like it. I've said this a million times, so I won't go on about it, but I do like when you lot go to these places and everyone's together. And you go everywhere.
I suppose I'm going to get the same thing when I come to Joe Fest, aren't I? I'm going to come to Joe Fest, and there's going to be Super Awesome and Rob's Retro, and there's going to be Dream Force, and there's going to be Scuba again, and there's going to be Jeff Barker, and a few others that probably watch the videos on here.
Chris Mira, Chris Mira.
Yeah, I hope Pixel Dan's there because I love Pixel Dan. I've watched Pixel Dan for years, so I hope Pixel Dan's there again. Yeah.
It's one of those places. I don't know whether you lads in the chat or you say it yourself, Si, when you walk around these places like a Sundowner and this, you always see somebody that you don't know personally, you don't talk to, but you've seen their Instagram.
There was a few there at Joe Fest when you went, and there's all them videos going up, and I saw a few vendors that I recognised from making videos. I was like, "You make videos, you, and so do you." Yeah, and I recognised them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's always nice. Everyone has a double take, whatever. You know, oh, is that? You know what I mean? We watched some videos and so forth. I think Gerard and Miriam's Tub Thumpers would be double good. I'd love to have him on. Love to have you all on Tub Thumpers, definitely. That's what's convinced me, Jonathan, that there was instructions for air fryers on packaging now, so they weren't going to be weren't going to be a fad. No, why have you just started to get into it? Airfryers have been going over here for ages. Have you just started
No,
to
they've
get
been going
into
over here ages, but I think it's something over these past few years that people are now picking up on. Like, we only bought ours in last summer. Like, people, it was Jay, he bought one when he moved, went, oh, he's got to get an air fryer. So we did, and best move we did. We've not used the oven since, really.
I think it was Gem and Holograms Filmation? I think it was, Si. I think it was Filmation.
It was Filmation, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think you got a good point there, Chris. Yeah. Steph, I think you weren't found shouting. Sorry, what does that say, Si?
Steph, I think if you went round shouting fork pork, people would think you're vegan. Jumpy. Nice to see Shabby brought his glasses again for another weekend. Nice to see.
I won for Stu's quiz. I was on ball there. I thought, no, I'm going to take it seriously. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't allowed in the twin bedroom when Shabby was watching Gem, as it sounded like he was repeatedly peeling 100.
I was doing proper like stuff.
Some of you guys need to come. You were talking to me about Dublin, and you've loved it, don't you, Si? Yeah, that's one of your favourites, in it, Dublin, Simon?
Yeah, it probably is my favourite meet up of the year. Yeah, we have such a good time when we go, and I can tell all this lot in the chat about it, and I say to them all, but I don't think they realise how much of a really good time we do have when we go. And you know, people say, "Oh, it's dear Dublin." I'm like, I'll tell you something now. I spend at least 200-300 quid more at the toy fair than I've ever done at Dublin. So it isn't that dear. Do you know what I mean?
Are you talking convention or the places? Because I've never been
the whole 4 days, meeting up with everyone. The city's brilliant. The nightlife's brilliant. The convention's always a good laugh. We've always had a good time. Put it this way, my Claire loves it that much. As soon as we get back and she knows when the next one's on, it's booked.
Yeah.
Love going with DTM and Helen. It's a right laugh.
I've never been bothered about that, G-Force. I think that's what I mean. I mean, because I don't know, you'll get some people out there that want to be like the cool dude of collecting that. It's never me. I think, and you find that out, especially Simon, what doing things like tub thumpers, when people will go, oh, I haven't really got that much stuff to show. I've only got like pencil cases and this and that, but they show it, and every one of us is like, no way. Do you know what I mean? Dad, look at that. I remember having that and so forth. So, yeah, I'm glad no one would take the and that's the thing. I think building all the lads that we have and so forth, it's nice. It gives you confidence, doesn't it, to show what you want to show? You know what I mean, Simon?
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be the cool stuff, does it? You can show everything you like.
Let me tell you, no one is more shy than me in a sense. It's weird. I've been in this community as long as all the rest of you have, and it took me 3 years to get myself in front of camera. And the only reason I think that was because I'm like, these are all my mates. I talk to these people daily. I see them all the time. What's the problem if I come on because I've got a little bit of show? Do you know what I mean? It's no issue, is there really?
No. Geek Strong copyrights showed it. Well, I'll just say subscribe to Geek Strong and make sure you know what I mean? It's really good. Shabby was happier with his gem encounter than I was with the Sergeant Slaughter happening. I was, yeah. Nice one, DTM. We'll get together. Oh, sorry. Let's have a look. He did have a proper hold on you for sure, G-Force. Yeah, but it's experience, isn't it? Like when G-Force met Sergeant Slaughter, or when some of the lads met Larry Harmer, who's a big guy in the G.I. Joe world and so forth. And it's nice to see your friends or your people in, that you get to know happy, like, oh, no way.
Do you know what I loved about him, though, Mark? He's one of the most influential comic book cover artists of the 20th century. And it made it so refreshing to me that I found out that when he goes to Joe Fest and he does his live drawings and signs them, he gives them away. Don't charge for him. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And he's a big deal in the Joe world size. That's like Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby in the Marvel world.
I know who he is, and let me tell you, he's, like I said, Matt, one of the most influential comic book cover artists. When they say that to you, Eisner Award winner, you know you're a good comic book artist. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But to find out that in this day and age, when you hear about these Star Wars actors that charge hundreds of pounds for 2 minutes of them and a little quick signature, it's refreshing to hear, doesn't it, that a great artist like that, a legend in the field, just gives them away. Love that. Isn't it? Love it. Love it.
The thing is, I've always thought that myself. I'm not really one for autographs, Simon. I got one off David Prowse when we went to Burnley Star Wars Day a couple of years, and that was 20 quid one it side back then or something. And obviously I got Gems, which was about $30, which for 2023 I thought was $35. It's not bad for an autograph. And she signed it twice and made a video with me, so I can't complain about the money I spent. But sometimes when you hear some of these Star Wars lads, 150, 250, 300, and I'm like, what the France, man? I wouldn't have the balls to do that. No, yeah, I'll
But I
sing
don't
it.
understand that. Like, I get it in a sense because, listen, these people are legends. People want to meet them. They're a busy life. I get that. But what I don't get is you're a very famous Hollywood actress or actor. You sat on millions of dollars. You live in the biggest house I've ever seen in my life. Why do you need to take £600 off people for an autograph and a quick hello?
It's the price, isn't it? And then I'm not going to say a name. I'm not going to say a name at all. But there's someone that we all know. I see that a gem down for a proper gem head. Tommy. It's like there's a gentleman in our community that we all know that when he went to Star Wars Celebration, he couldn't wait to meet this person. He bought stuff off him. He admired him for years and all that. And then when he got the autograph of him, he treated him like a proper dick. And
I remember Jason O'Toole saying that about Anthony Daniels.
Like
I love Anthony Daniels.
I just said I'm not saying you straight away.
Listen, he won't be watching it. If you are watching Anthony, wind your neck in. People have watched you for 40 years. Be a nice guy to some people.
I think it's sad that. I think that's why I try to be nice to everybody, because you know, I never want to come across. I'd hate that for people to turn and go, oh, Shabby's a bell end, isn't he? I know what you're going to say now, but what I'm saying is, you know, I'd rather people go, oh, what a nice fella he was. Do you know what I mean? It baffles me that. And then to charge somebody that much money. So I knew Shabby would love it. It's all because of you. And I appreciate you sending it to me. That was really nice because I would never have known. And I got hold of it and so forth. So here we go. At least he's Malibu Stacy.
But actually, I do have a doll to show after, which is really weird enough.
Let's have a look. Hasbro had the license, but never wait to make gem. It's what that tells me. Right. Well, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, we were talking before about Hasbro and the change. And it's easy for us all to do because we watched this guy on Instagram. And he was like proud of the fact that they're not doing it. I told everybody, I predicted that we're not doing it. And I'm like, there's nothing to be proud of, really. I mean, we're all toy collectors. There's 60 people here. And all of us, I think it's kind of sad, don't you, Simon?
I do and I don't. Because I buy a lot of other figures outside of a lot of other companies of Hasbro. And even though Hasbro sometimes can smack it straight out of the park, I can name you 50 Marvel Legends, 50 Black Series, 50 whatever that are mint. Yeah. There's also a lot of tripe from Hasbro. And the way I see it is, if Hasbro lost these licenses and they stopped making these figures and they went to other companies, that's maybe not so much a bad thing. And I know that myself I've picked up so many DC characters from over the years, but nothing, in my opinion, has been better than the multiverse. Nothing. That was the best thing to happen to DC figures in a long time. Really was. So, I get people like Scott Oakspot who complains to me, oh, I've got all these Black Series. I still haven't got a Weequay. I still haven't got somebody else.
No Bespin layer. How can you not make a Bespin layer? It's weird.
And I always thought toy companies was built on what do the people want more than what we're giving them. Because let's be fair, what you've been given in the Black Series these past few years, out of 50 figures, how many would you say you really wanted? 10? 15?
But that's the thing. It's like we were talking before, and they were saying, Hasbro gives away the license to Star Wars. Say, for example, hypothetically, McFarlane, take that out. I will not be buying 6-inch Star Wars. What I will do, because I bought, I know it's not an exaggeration, I must have about 500 Black Series here. I'll fill in the ones I've always wanted, and I'll complete, like all the vintage lads do. When they find a vintage line that they want, they end up completing it. I'll try and do that with the Black Series. But I honestly, Si, because I know you think I'm full of shit, but I won't start.
I think you're full of shit for the sake of, one, you're a collector. Two, you're a library collector like I am, and you like having your stuff in boxes, your stuff lined up. And three, it would be, again, I can't dismiss that, because if a company took this on and made these figures $20 to $25 at a set price, gave you loads of accessories and figures that were just, you would jump on. I think you'd be a complete liar to say, no, I'm not doing it again. Because then I think, well, where's your love of collecting gone then? You know, for the love of, like, it, just because it's a new line, does that mean all of a sudden it's not Hasbro and it's not stayed familiar to you that you have to change it? Because let's be fair, I don't hear the TVC carded figures people saying this when this is not the same company as the original company at all. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
But they don't see it as like what's going to happen to that lot. Say if Mayfex decide they're going to make the 3.75 figures from now on, are they going to all turn the backs on still carrying on collecting them just because another licensee's making them? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a good point, Si. Biker says new mask line will be cool. The only thing is put face details on the figures. Well, I just read that statement. I don't know whether you were here before, Dario, or not. And it said that they're gonna. They're making it like it's fresh straight from the 80s, which means they're doing the boxes the same. I mean, the boxes might be a little bit different, but it depends on the licensing, doesn't it? But I don't know. I mean, I've got a couple of mask stuff, and like I said, every time I go to Joe Fest, I like to pick one up. And Papa Gord sent me a couple, and John sent me the Hurricane, and I do like it. But that's the thing, Si. I think just to go back to what you were saying, why I probably wouldn't do it. I'd invest into other things now. I think I've bought Star Wars like we all have since the beginning. Do you know what I mean? It'd be nice. And then Motu came along again, and I've loved that. And obviously the Batman 66 and the Transformers 86, and now the Gem. So I think I'd still do all my collecting and stuff, and I'd still be hell bent, but I just don't think I'd go back into Star Wars again. Where would I stick it all again? Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it would be for me, Simon.
I think it'd be what caught your eye. If they made him and you just thought, oh, look at that thing. It's like when Mayfex did the R2D2 and C3PO. There's no way I have seen a Hasbro figure better than them two. Absolutely no way. The C3PO was chrome. The R2D2 they were just amazing. I think Super Awesome had the set. And I'm sure DTM's got it as well. But them two were like, look at these compared to what they have the Star Wars license.
I agree with that. Kieran, all right, now what a size mysterious mind perplexing questions. Si, you're up and running for Magic, aren't you, this season 3?
Oh my God, you don't even think you've seen Magic. Don't even think you've seen it. This is the next echelon of Magic, the upper level, the Magic level. Circle level.
Oh, seriously, is that good, Si? That good? Oh, brilliant.
You haven't even seen Magic. You haven't even seen it. Do you know what, Mark? Everyone's been laughing and joking and all sides magic tricks. I've done this on purpose. On purpose.
Hustling, Si. Hustling.
By the end of season 3 of Tub Thumpers, we'll be outside doing a trick. Don't you worry.
Oh, my life. Over the Grand Canyon, Si, something like that. Skipping over Popple Tower. Is that what it is?
Floating over.
Coxie says Dublin he's been about 3 times and he's loved it every time. I'd love to go to Dublin. I really would. Yeah. Hey, Gups, nice to see you, pal. Good old Gupsies. Everybody's turned up 60, Si. Unbelievable. Win says, no work tomorrow. There's a catch. I have to work Saturday. Thanks, Win.
Good old Win off to work.
He is. We checked it before G4. Slavy Hammer will be there this year. So Shabby being all diplomatic, Si, but it works. I like Si the way he is. I've got to admit. I do, because
say as it is, don't you? There's no point beating around the bush with anything.
Jono says, autographs are not my thing, but I always feel maybe it's better not to meet some of these stars, as if they're arseholes. You could.
That's what I do, Jono. I don't pay for autographs. I don't see the importance of meeting people. I've always said this to everybody, like, I don't understand this intimacy with people that we watch. Like, why do we need to get to know them intimately and send them messages and stuff like that, when half the time, anybody that meet these Hollywood people, they're always disappointed, aren't they? So... yeah. And you can imagine you've waited there for hours and hours. You've paid all this money to meet somebody you've loved since you was a little boy, and they're a knobhead at the end, and you just feel like a right bread bean stood there while they treat you like an idiot. Not for me, no, Jono. I understand entirely. It's just I couldn't do it.
I mean, I wonder if the
and don't get me wrong, Mark. Before I finish, that's not them all. Don't get me wrong. I understand that's not all of them, but there's just my love. It would be the one I wanted to meet. Do you know what I mean? And I'd be like, not bad. I know what I'd be like. Give us £200 back.
I've been queuing for 2 days. Oh,
I know, yeah. That's what I agree with John Old. Stay away from that thing, yeah. But like DTM and Helen, they love getting autographs, and Stu and Georgie, don't they?
Super Awesome. Stu and Georgie, you're exactly right. A few of them have. And I suppose you're right, Simon. I think it's the experience of it, innit? Especially if it's like meeting Gem. That's all I can go back on, because I've only met like her. And when I lived in London and when I was in the suit game side, as you know, I met loads of stars doing suits for him and so forth, you know, from the footballers to Tyson Fury. I always did, but I was never one to like, well, I suppose I was at work, so I couldn't really turn around and go, oh, can I have your autograph? Do you know what I mean?
But would you think if you was doing this now, then you would be thinking, I've got a channel here. If I got Tyson Fury on for a minute, or Trev Sinclair from Blackpool.
I want to see something. Honestly, it's packed. I love it though. I've always enjoyed it, and like I say, I've said it on CSR many a times. Coxie, the way it changes now. Like I just got this one, and like I said, I look for bargains all the time, and that one's, I mean, under $40 side. That's pretty good for all those 4 figures. I mean,
It
3
is.
figures.
It's a nice set, that, as well. I like the box of it. It looks very
The
like
box is,
old school, doesn't it?
yeah, the box is nice and sturdy or whatever. Let's have a look. We're getting to the hour side, so we'll get into your stuff in a minute. Imagine having 6
right.
Jedi figures that hold their lightsabers. Yeah, would be nice, wouldn't it? But I don't know. It's like, it was refreshing to start taking stuff out of the box when it came to Motu, though. So I've got to be honest, it was. And then that opened me up to do, well, I'll do it with the Batman 66 and I'll do it with the Transformers. It was weird as well because I had so much stuff, side box stuff, that when I decided to open it, took me hours. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why I don't believe you'll just pack it in if it goes to somebody else, because everyone on here will be going, oh, this is mint, this is top, look at this new selection. And you'll be going, here's my gem doll. So, you know what I mean? I don't think you'll want to do that. I think it depends. Like I said, he doesn't take it over. It all depends.
I was going to bring up Skeleton Crew with Si later on, so I'll do it at the end of the thing. So just in case he kicks off, I can turn it off. You know
just again, like it's not the same as Star Wars, is it?
Come out for a score. Arsenal 2, nil. Newcastle 2, 4-0 on aggregate. Not bad at all. Palpatine installed. Here we go. I might accidentally start getting TVC stuff. Mr. B, Mr. B's and him. Look at it. Mr. B sat there going, what are you talking about? Get it, man. So, the only thing I would get from Star Wars if they carry on with retro would be unmade figures we never got. But that's what I thought the whole thing was about at the start, because they did the Tarkin, then they did the Snow Speeder Luke, and I thought, wow, if you carry on doing it this way, that'll be awesome. But I don't mind the retro collection. I've stopped collecting it. I've stopped doing it. So the magic's going to be invisible. Jonathan says, I honestly feel sorry for Hasbro. I do. They pay an absolute fortune to Disney for the Star Wars license, but we're under contract to make certain figures. That's 100% peg one on the shelves. It makes me laugh, that Star Wars license. It does, because it's not, 10, 15 years ago, I'd completely understand. But now, I mean,
yeah, but I don't get it, right? They make a Star Wars show today, and they have 2 demics stood there talking, and none of them are doing anything, and they're both like over 60. And then Hasbro then goes, hang on a minute, we have to make figures out of this, action figures. Well, yeah. Well, that's an old woman and an old guy with no weapons, no storyline, no adventure, no nothing. They're just talking in an antique shop. Yeah, make some figures. So, no, Hasbro must be like, do these people not know what we make when you look at the classified and you look at all the accessories that come with them and you look at everything else? And when I saw that guy's face, and he's the guy from Star Wars who made the Ghost, and it showed the Hasbro Ecto 1 that was all lit up and everything, and there was that picture I caught of him looking over to it as if to say, why did they not give me the license to put lights and sounds?
It's straight. Listen, we can talk about True Blue in the face. I don't think we'll ever find out why. But it is funny that the same company, you look at the G.I. Joe stuff, all lit up cockpits and sounds and lights and this, and then you look at Star Wars and it's good. Don't get me wrong.
Can I also stay on this point as well before? Yeah. Just let me tell you this. I'm a simple guy in simple ways. I'm not retro blasting. I don't know it all. So do you know what I mean? All I can tell you is just what my opinions are on stuff. So if it stokes people up, if it doesn't, remember, it's just my opinion. I don't know everything. I don't know how these big companies work. I don't know. What I do know is what I see. And when you see a lack of things coming, and sometimes I think this is a bigger bubble to us in it than what it is if you're not in it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas maybe we keep hearing these things and thinking Hasbro are doing fine, when actually in the real world, they're not. They really might be struggling proper bad and thinking, if we don't change this now, we're going under. You just don't know. No. What Disney's give you over all these years. I think, look at all them videos you see, that world-class bullshit it puts up in Ollie's of just walls and walls of Marvel Legends and Black Series. And you're like, but they want $40 off you first. But you give it a wait of 18 months, the $9.99.
I dip my toe into the fan-made custom action figures. It's not a rabbit hole I fell in, but it's a black hole. I've already got 50 and some Stan Solo come and love them. Yeah, they're awesome. Like I say, Zero Hunter got something. I've always admired them. So here we go. Wizzy says, Saga Legacy Collection Original Trilogy. I've still got all them up there. The Legacy and what is it collection? The 30th anniversary. Yeah, they were awesome. They really were. I've been drunk in Dublin so many times. The Garda are not fans of mine of the topless chicken dance. It's the character you really want to see, not the dude behind the magic. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. I agree with that 100. Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, because he can ruin it, can't they? And you know, we've heard stories of people that have met him saying, "Oh, they weren't very nice." And
yeah, Jungle is magic. Cheers, our Des. That's nice of him. I met Keith Lemon in October, and he was exactly like Keith Lemon. I like that too. I always said that when I started YouTube, and I started putting myself out there that I'm going to be the same person I'm in real life. I think if you put an act on or whatever, it don't work at all, does it? Because you slip up eventually, don't you? So I've
got to say, Keith Lemon lately and became an ITV bitch and all that. But back in the beginning, the Bowl Selector days, he was one of the funniest guys I could ever watch on the TV. Me and all my brothers just loved Bowl Selector, that show. Still quote it to this day.
Yeah. Tyson Fury, I'm a big fan. I've followed his career since the beginning. Yeah. Kev, isn't he a big Star Wars collector? Lee Francis, is he?
There's
a few in there.
Instagram page. He also makes loads of stuff. He made a Big Fortuna head, and that's really funny. If you go onto his Instagram page, you'll see his collection and the stuff he makes, and yeah, some great stuff he's got.
Hello all. Hi Adam. Nice to see you, buddy. Wow. So it stuck to 60 all night. This is really, honestly, thank you all so much. We really appreciate it. Just me and Si having a nice chat and showing some stuff off. The 40 set is great, but should have been Sebastian Shaw. Yeah, he should have been. But
did you like that Return of the Jedi ending when they changed him back to young Anakin?
I didn't really bother me. It's like when people go.
It bothered me massively. That bothered me. I'm like, he didn't die like that though, did he? He died that bald old guy. That's how. And to go back, he would have gone back to that age as that guy. Like when Yoda died, he didn't go back to like, oh, look at me when I was 25.
Yeah, but
and never did Obi-Wan, did he?
All right, but my response to that wasn't you're burnt and bald then. When you saw him as a ghost, if that's how he looked.
Because he went back to his natural form. Like when Yoda died, he didn't die choosing a form that he wanted to be. Like, I'm not being funny. Would you, if you died as Obi-Wan, would you come back as Alec Guinness or Ewan McGregor? And I wish one I'd come back as. So in a sense of it, when it was the original Sebastian Shaw, you're like, oh, look, Darth Vader's gone back to normal. And at the age he is now, it wasn't right. Like, I never liked putting young Anakin in Return of the Jedi. That really bothered me.
That's Collections here, right, Matt? Adam, I've been reading a book on advanced astrology techniques by Seymour clearly. Si, no more bowl selector here. Thank you.
Proper bowl. Don't blame me for that. Blame Adam Berry.
Si's going to be mad when he sees the Ewan McGregor. Jumpy, that's a strange coincidence. I've really been studying the work of Seymour Butts. Nice. I don't know. I didn't mind it. It's like when everyone kicks off about the special edition. Oh, it's not Star Wars. It's not special. I think they improved it. That's just my opinion. I know there's going to be people
yes and no.
Batter me, but I think
that Jabba Singh song change, that was awful. And changing the end of the original song to that stupid one was awful. So yes, but I think they took too many liberties on Return of the Jedi. There was a lot of added stuff, cool added stuff, I will agree. But some of it was a bit like, I know what they were doing to showing you the tech that was going to make the new ones and stuff.
Yeah.
But they should have just left the Slice Noodle song as it was, and you know, because even in my head when that bit's on, I still go. You know what I mean?
Brilliant. Hey, talking about singing and stuff, Si, look who's here.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again.
Be early in the morning for our usual Mike. Good.
I'll tell you, I've seen Anne-Marie laugh at some pictures, but I've never seen her laugh at pictures more than that one, Mark. Never. She cried laughing when she saw that picture of Mike in with the Wentworth lot.
I can't remember this whole thing we've done for the past 5.5 years without usual Mike. I mean, he's just been there since. I've always loved him. He's brilliant fella, brilliant. I have seen a fan documentary about David Prowse doing the Darth Vader death scene. I'm sure the director was a Spanish. I saw that. Yeah, you're right. There was a different director on it, Des. I remember. I'm speaking vaguely, but I do remember what you're talking about. Do you remember that, Simon? There was
David Prowse was the guy that was dying.
Yeah, it was David. It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
Not Sebastian Shaw.
If anyone else knows about that in the chat, let me know. Rusty Break Springs by LP.
David Prowse talks like Matt 0 Toys, doesn't he? All right, Luke. I'm
Yeah, he does,
dying.
yeah.
I'm dying,
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Look at that. Keith, it's better than some of your previous. I have Leptinek on my phone. I have the original Star Wars soundtracks on CD. Dear. Hey, Cam. I've always preferred the original ending to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's because like Return of the Jedi is the special one for me. So, like I said, the special editions when they came out, I was all for. Went to see I've still got all my cinema tickets for them,
Right.
and yet it was the Return of the Jedi one that was quite angered me a bit. When I first saw it, I was like, "Don't change the ending. Don't change the song. That's not fucking Anakin."
I just think what I'm saying. First of all, I am Matt and Andrew. It's lovely to see you guys. I just think when people go mad about these special editions, to me, it was never affected me. Do you know? Would it be nice to have the original Star Wars untouched and all that sort of stuff? And there's a Star Wars. Obviously, we're doing Star Wars next, aren't we? On our Star Wars show.
Yeah, Star Wars was chosen.
Yeah,
it
would be nice to see it. But the way I work it out is this: it's like me turning around your favorite pop band or something. Well, it would have been better if you sounded like that. It's not really up to you. It's up to the artist that makes them. And George Lucas obviously thought this was the way he wanted to go. Because you see documentaries saying it, and he does say, doesn't he, that as technology progressed, he wanted to put what he actually wanted in these films. And he did. So you can't, that's the thing, that's the way I've always looked at it. Do you agree?
Added scenes, in a sense, yeah, if they're going to add something to it. But would you rather have added scenes in, or would you rather have scenes in movies like the ending of Rogue One, where it ties in perfectly to the start of Star Wars, and then all of a sudden you don't watch Star Wars ever the same again because you know all that build-up that was coming up to the time Steve and everything going. For me, that's what I love about like scenes in movies, when they add that sort of thing in. By using special effects and CGI, they can recreate a scene that's just going to blend seamlessly into one 40 years ago. Yeah. I love that sort of stuff.
That makes sense. The true original engine of Return of the Jedi has defeated Emperor escaping and Luke leaving to find his sister. It was not Leia. Wow. See, loads of stuff. The best addition to the special editions, our Palp says, was Luke and Wedge shake hands. Good to see Wedge get credit. I've always been a fan of Wedge. Yeah, awesome. Just a deadly reminder to hit that like. Thank you, our Des. Cheers. I've got the box set with all the original cuts and special editions. I do love to watch the original. I've got them. I've got the old videos, like the first VHSs that came out of Star Wars. I've got them. But I've got a video cassette, but I'm always scared to put it in. Do you know what I mean? Just in case the tape goes or whatever. So I didn't really bother with that.
Yeah, that sound.
Yeah. After seeing Rogue One, I can't help but think that Admiral Raddus was in the cell next to Leia. That's a good point. That could be a good one.
Yeah,
Kieran says, I would have preferred it if Han Solo had died at the end of Empire. Better now than he did meet. He said, the end of... I mean, I'm going to be admit, I don't mind The Force Awakens, but I can't watch it again because of the films that came after it. But I didn't mind it. But I've got to admit, that did stick me like, you've killed him off like that.
The Force Awakens was the biggest pile of shit I have ever watched in years. And that was the first one. And I remember coming home after watching that and had a 2-hour rant to you how bad that movie was. And I knew then this is over.
Yeah.
Force Awakens, it was horrible. And I remember, like I said, we said on our Star Wars stream, that was the second greatest trailer I've probably ever seen in my life. And like the rest of us, when I saw that Force Awakens trailer and it showed the Millennium Falcon being chased by that TIE fighter on Jakku through that Star Destroyer, I was in bits, me. And then it comes out, doesn't it? Oh my God.
The thing about it, it's like I said, I mean, I loved I loved all the aura around Star Wars, new figures, everyone talking about it. This and that, and I fell for it up, line and sinker, and I didn't mind The Force Awakens.
But you didn't fall for it up, line and sinker, because you did what every bloke and over of our age did, and was like, it's back. I'm getting to 50 and Star Wars is coming back. You didn't fall for it. I think, if anything, everyone fell for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Matt's saying 100% say about Force Awakens.
Listen, if you like it, I'm not going to shoot anybody down for liking anything. That's your opinion. There's a pile of shite I like that people just think I'm the weirdest person on the planet watching. But, it's what you do with a franchise that's much beloved over all the years. And to take so many liberties and changes just to push a message and an agenda and the politics of the world today. Absolutely stupid.
TJCZ, hi TJC, nice to see you, buddy. Geeks, G-Force, excuse me. My wife's uncle ruined The Force Awakens, and now before I went to see it, I was salty going into it, but I haven't spoke to that.
And Solo dies at the end. You'd be like, ah.
Well, it was a remake, and I do agree with that. And I could see, but me and Si have been talking about it since then, and Si's always hated it, and I always said, yeah, I understand that. But the way I worked it out was whether I like the prequels or not. There was a bit of controversy about him, and I thought they've taken the safe option here. But this is a trilogy, so it doesn't really matter what the first one's like, as long as it got off to a good start and it's like reminiscent of the Star Wars we know. It's the second one. And I've always said that, and it's the second one.
Well,
for me
I remember coming home in that row I had a 2-hour rant, and at the very end, you said to me, "That's fair enough, but this is the first one back, and if you do anything to Luke in any of these from now on, that's when I'll be upset." And then I went to see The Last Jedi before you did, and I remember coming on a talk to you like this, and I'm just like that, laughing, going, "Oh, he's going to hit the roof when he sees what they've done to Luke Skywalker."
Second one was a remake of Empire, and very poor remake of Empire. It was crap, though, on it. Let's be perfectly honest. But anyway, Si, I'm going to make you big a minute. You got some stuff to show, aren't you, Si?
I have first one. I'll do this unboxing first.
Oh, an unboxing, Si. You're going to unbox on it?
Because I got this the other day, and I've been after this for quite a while, and it sold out everywhere. And then Connor put in the chat, "These are back up." And I thought, no way. So I jumped on it. Funny enough, I went on the site again last night, and they actually have been sold out again. So you've got to be quick with these if you see them. Yeah. But I've been after this for quite a bit.
Okay, Jason is what?
Look at this box. How we get our house packed. Look, boxes a little bit too big, all nice and bubble wraps, and some of the state you Americans get your toys in is a joke, isn't it?
Not yet. Craig Murray, my friend Craig, that some of the lads know in the chat, you've seen his Instagram stuff, he got his, but mine says March. So, I haven't got anything off Mattel to say it's coming early, so I'll wait. But I can't wait to get Rio Blast, my favourite.
Yeah, this March, what I've been after.
Oh, now here, let me make it even bigger. Let's have a look at this. Now, this is more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, this was 40 quid. It was 39, but it is the collector's edition one.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand, because normally multiverse come with this sort of thing anyway. All right, justified, not as many hands and stuff, but does 6 more hands make it 20 more quid?
Yeah.
But again, it's I will tell you the truth. I met up with Chris Smith a few years back, and we went to the Games Expo in Blackpool, and there was this NECA one, and it was amazing. It's all done like the Fortress of Solitude and stuff. And Chris bought me one. Chris actually got it for me, and I treasure that one. And I will say this face sculpt is good, but it isn't a patch on the NECA one. But it is a good sculpt. I will say that.
You're a big fan of him, aren't you, Reeve?
And nah, just look at that. It says it all, doesn't it? Listen, people can go on about Cavill, they can go on about Cornsweet, they can go on about all they want. That was Superman, and we will only ever get copies of that guy again. He was the greatest, and he will always be the greatest Superman we will ever see on the screen. No one will ever beat Christopher Reeve. You can say it about your Batmans and choose your different James Bonds, but when it comes to Superman, that was the ultimate. We got the Superman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is nice.
I would just say the world of today going forward, I'd just digitalize Christopher Reeve and still make him Superman for the next 20 years. Do you know what I mean? But
funny though that's £20 more. £20 more though, really, just for extra hands and whatever. Because you're never going to take it out of the box, are you?
No,
it is.
It comes with a flight stand. The flight stand's at the back. Obviously, a stand at the bottom.
Stu,
but this gives me hope, Mark, because I've said it from the very beginning of Multiverse. I just hope for the 3 Superman 2 villains, for Nom, Ursa, and General Zod. Yeah. Getting this, we might be a little bit closer to getting them 3. Do you know what I mean? So
he's got the licenses for all DC, hasn't he? Because
and he did say last October that he's going to make every single DC movie property. So and he's kept to his word so far. We've had Batman Forever, we've had The Dark Knight, Superman Christopher Reeve's coming. Linda Carter Wonder Woman is what we need, and we need the 3 villains from Superman 2. I can die happy then.
Best Superman figure. Glad you got it, Si. It's a beauty, says our Dave.
Yeah, it's BTM, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look. found that Superman right away. Good thing I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, whatever, but I don't collect. I mean, I've picked up a couple of DC stuff, and but I just think $40 is a bit pricey for that, to tell you the truth. So, have you seen the Superman? I watched half of it. It's sad, man.
I can't. I'll tell you the truth, pal.
Sad.
I've got to be in the frame of mind to watch
You've got to be.
because, like I said, Mark will tell you, DC, Christopher Reeve, massive hero for mine of being a kid, and I've got to be in that frame of mind because I'll be in bits watching something like that. I know I will. Do you know what I mean?
It's sad because it starts off and it does it really well. How sporty he actually was. Not only was he Superman, but he was always into sports and horse racing, and you know, he's playing with his kid. And it's sad. It's sad, but yeah, it is sad, and what that man had to go through. Superman of all people. It's so ironic. It's
crazy.
So that sold out everywhere, did it? Jono said, yeah, that's.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Superman, we had his kiss. Question, Si, are you looking forward to the new Superman movie coming out this summer?
I am, and I'll tell you the truth why. Because even though I'd like the Zack Snyder cuts of the Justice League and stuff, it was way too dark. I understand the Batman living in that world, but the rest of these Justice League characters don't live in the gloomy world of Batman. And I think, unlike Disney, DC Warner Brothers have the balls to say, hang on, this is not going the way we want it to go on. You know, we're only getting used to these characters, and already the rug's been pulled.
Yeah.
What I've seen of the Superman trailer and going for Crypto the Superdog, for me, that's a deep cut. Do you know what I mean? That's like, this guy knows what he's doing here.
Yeah.
So I do have every hope for it. Again, World of Today, I could be wrong, but it was like watching the Fantastic Four trailer. There was something in that. Now, normally I watch Marvel trailers and I go, it's going to be just like the last one. But I've said it, Marvel have now got the big boys back. And watching that trailer, I must have watched it 50 times in 2 days. It's just, I can't believe how well that thing looks. It looks just like Jack Kirby's thing for once. The outfits are brilliant. Setting in the 60s, I think, is perfect, like a super stylized 60s version of their world. It just looks brilliant, and I hope it is. Do you know what I mean? I hope, because I'm like you, Mark. I'm sick and tired of complaining about shit stuff and shit movies and shit TV shows. And they look beautiful, and there's all these costs, and they've got fantastic actresses in them, and the shit. And I'm just sick and tired of it. Do you know what I mean? I want to go back to the days where maybe we come from a golden generation where we're not going to get that back. I don't know, but do you know, I'm just sick of complaining about stuff or laughing at stuff, or everyone online's laughing about it. When was the last time, apart from outside of the Batman or the Penguin show, that people have got excited about and they all get, you know, juiced up talking about it and stuff?
I think that's where we've gone along the way, really, in a way. And you are right, because I got to a point of that. And it's right when I did Martin and Stu's What Made Star Wars Great. And then we're doing those Star Wars things at the moment, going through the original 6. I really enjoy it, and because I 100% agree with you. After a while, you're like, this is a form of escapism. This is something that we enjoy doing and collecting and talking about with fellow collectors and pop culture enthusiasts. And it did get a bit tiresome, didn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want to be laughing at stuff we love. Do you want to be doing that? No, it's so strange to me that, like, the most entertainment of Disney Star Wars is everyone online laughing about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a bit like, it's like everyone laughing at your girlfriend, isn't it? It's like, you don't want that to happen. Oh, yeah, number one, Carton. And that, again, that's for me for Wonder Woman. We've had the greatest. Do you know what I mean? I don't care who's Wonder Woman.
Neil before said, oh, it's Luke Reynolds. Christopher Reeve, Superman Arkham says he's the best. Yeah, he is. Yeah. It's something we all remember. I mean, it's those movies, though, back then. They were just brilliant. Even, what was the lady called, Si, that played, I forgot her name, Lois Lane. What was her name?
Margot Kidder.
Oh, she was superb in that role.
Oh, Superman 1, she's got like the flag hanging out of her mouth, and she's got that Gucci clothing on that Gucci bag, and she's like that with that. She was the perfect Lois Lane. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, APD, yeah. 100% agree. As much as I thought Henry Cavill did a good job in the role, we will not need a dark and gritty Superman. My wife is not happy that Henry Cavill is no longer Superman.
And I get that, but you know, Superman lives in the City of Light. That's what Metropolis is called, the City of Light. It's the complete opposite to Gotham City. Do you really think there's going to be any trouble in Metropolis with Superman living there? No chance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just I like the Snyder, and don't get me wrong, the director's cut, the Snyder's Justice League was fantastic. But again, I don't want to see a surfer Aquaman. I don't want to see an emo fucking Flash. I don't want to see everybody like, oh, we're all gloomy in the Justice League. It's like, in fact, I was watching Deadpool 2 the other night, right? And you forget how funny that bit is. And there's a bit where Cable's grabbing him and he does this speech. And Deadpool goes to him, whoa, you're so dark, you're from the DC universe. And I tell you, it just made me crack up laughing. It really did.
I think David Prowse was Christopher Reeve's personal trainer, says Cam.
Yeah, there was something there, wasn't there? Yeah.
Here we go. I don't like the new Superman already. Why is Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, and Metamorpho in a Superman movie?
I think it's going to be an opening clip and it's all going on, and they're only in that bit in the beginning. I do believe that they're shown as a little swing off, because I do believe there's going to be bigger characters shown in this movie. But I do believe it's just a little clip at the beginning where this is where Superman lives in the Justice League world. Everything's set up. Do you know what I mean? That's what I believe. I don't think they're in it all the way through.
This was always a good point to me. I've got to admit, I always felt like this as well. We all have different opinions, like dislikes. It's when folks take it. I never understood that, why people would fall out over pop culture. You respect listening to people's opinions and what they say, and so. And then that's not me sitting on the fence. That's just me. You know, it's like, I don't think whether you like something or you don't like something, you're wrong. It's your person. The thing about pop culture to me, and especially with everyone's collections and your favorite movies and your characters and all that, it's personal to you. So when you share something, it might not be personal to the person you're talking to. Do you know what I mean? So I agree with that, G-Force. I always wondered why people are kicking off and falling out over somebody's opinion. It doesn't make sense. It never made sense to me. Oh, no, I've not watched the amateur horrors though. So I even like Superman 4.
Superman 4 is so bizarre, isn't it? It's just weird, that film.
You got anything else to show us, Si? While I've got you up?
Yeah, I've got a few stuff.
Go through it. I was silent. Let's have a look. It's like a
I picked up me this in Scotland, which I thought was really cool, because I collect these, but I didn't know that they did these sort of monster truck ones. But that's the one that's the Dark Knight monster truck version.
Right. So
I got the Batman 66 one.
Yeah.
But again, Mark, look at the size of our cards to yours, look. So stubby, aren't they?
Yeah, a little.
But I saw this over the weekend, which I thought I'm going to pick this up, which is, I didn't know they did double packs as well. So there was like a Joker and Batman double pack.
Yeah.
Which again, you got to love monster trucks, haven't you? But again, it's not anything DC. See that logo, mate? Honestly, that logo there, and I'm weak. I really am, that Batman logo.
Matt's collection is triggered by G-Force right now, literally shaking. G-Force says, just take his annex. Good night, Miriam. Good night, pal.
Something here that Scuba Pete got me. I needed this figure. Scuba Pete got me this from America, and he sent it over at Christmas. But it's just a figure that I've been quite after for a while, which has been Metallo from the Justice League.
Nice. I thought you weren't doing that, though. I thought you weren't collecting other than Batman.
I do, but there's some characters that I really do want. Do you know what I mean? There's some characters that, again, what I love about the multiverse is that they give me characters from 40 years ago, as I read as a kid, that I never would believe I'd get a 6-inch box figure of. And then all of a sudden they come in with the original art on the back, and that's what does it for me as well. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I suppose it's like you, Matt, with the Black Series. Do you know, well, let's be fair, you was a lot more in love with Star Wars figures than I was as a kid. And I think when the Black Series come around, you just went, poof, no-brainer. Yeah, I picked up with all the Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary cards, and that year they won Figure of the Year for me, because I don't pick up Black Series, but I love Return of the Jedi. So all of a sudden, I've got all my little figures that are 6-inch, that are fully articulated, original card on them, 40th anniversary in the corner. I was all over them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
This, Luke Reynolds got me. I don't know if I showed this year, but he sent me this at Christmas, and I really do like it a lot.
It's a remote control. That's from, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, 1989. It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I loved that gold packaging. I loved it.
Yeah. I like that a lot. And these, like I said to these, I've been picking these up. First of all, I'll show you this. DTM got me this. And I love him for it because I saw the advert. I thought, I'll pick that up. And then the next thing he got at me. It's the remake of the Kobe Batmobile.
Look at that.
Awesome. I know, it's beautiful. There'll never be another Batmobile to me. That's the one.
That is cool.
Wasn't it great in Ready Player One seeing that Batmobile in it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, a popcorn bucket. Tell Geek Strong too. He loves these popcorn buckets. So
Obviously,
PGM
Mark, I
says,
picked
yeah,
up
got to
these.
give McFarlane. He does bring out obscure characters. I like the Commander Steel, Oberon, and others. I've got it perfect.
Yeah,
I only need the
like I said,
Triclops.
out of these, the one I did definitely jump on was the cartoon collection. It was one of my favourite ever cartoons as a kid.
Yeah.
And these are the He-Man figures that, for people like me, have been waiting 40 years for. Getting a Skeletor that looks like Skeletor. Do you know what I mean? Prince Adam that looks like Prince Adam. And so the latest two I picked up was the Hordak, and again another great figure.
Yeah, great figure. Mm-hmm. The only one I'm missing now from that line is Triclops. That's it, and I've got them all up to date.
Yeah, again with these, I just buy the ones I like. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to buy every one, or I always like get the ones you want. Innit?
Chris said he's still got his Brosnan, Dr. Fate, and the Rock, Black Adam, but the rubbish film, but the figures were great. Yeah, they looked all right.
Again, I think I've been after for such a long time, and Gerard managed to find it me. Gerard got it me from Ireland, which is the 66. Bit like that Christopher Reeve one. It came and just went. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, there's the greatest Batman that ever lived, without a doubt.
Would you be mad if you made another campy Batman, though? Would you be mad if you made another one?
Well, didn't they? It didn't work. Joel Schumacher did not set out to ruin Tim Burton's Batman movies. He thought, again, a bit like what James Gunn thought with the new ones, these films were a bit dark. Are we never going to go back to that 60s sort of way of Batman? And if you watch Batman Forever, it's all shot like Batman 66, all at a tilted angle, all technicolors, purples and greens and reds and yellows, and it's all campy, and they all say silly things in it, but it didn't work because, especially after Batman Returns, I actually followed that up with Batman Forever. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit.
Yeah,
I understand it, and like you said, if you look into the lore of it, obviously Tim Burton was hot property. They thought if you can do this with Batman, he's going to do the same as Superman. But too many executive heads jumped on that Superman movie, just went out of van. Do you know what I mean? So,
Chasing 80s, how Chris says, Motu collecting, and he's knocking it out of the park. They are. I loved them. I mean, I can't wait for the Thundercats though either. You know, Thundercats crossover, because the Turtle crossover has been brilliant in Motu. So can't wait for that one. A 66 style Batman done as a cartoon like Harley Quinn would work, I reckon. But you see, that's the thing when the old slated Batman and Robin, but I never did. I like those movies over the simple reason of the 66 site. It just reminded me of that. So I was like, yeah.
If you keep the 66 in your mind and you go back and watch Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, they're not that bad because you sort of get what they were trying to do with them. It's just that they weren't. It's just funny. It shows like Disney should take a leaf out of this book. You know, really, after Batman and Robin, which is one of the worst films, never mind one of the worst Batman movies, it's just terrible. But look what you got after that. You got Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy. You know, go away, think about it. What's his character? Go back and, you know, when Christopher Nolan made Batman Begins, as any Batman fan, Batman Begins was just wonderful, just a masterpiece. I loved it.
Anything else to show, buddy?
Yeah, quite a bit. I picked up this because I keep seeing them, and then I saw like the Yolo Park ones, which I really like. But these are really cool as well, and I just love the packaging of them, all foil.
Is that Yolo Park as well, Si, that making them?
No, these are a company called Blockies, and they make these figures, like quite nice figures. But again, they're only cheap. This is like 12 quid. But I just love the box of them. I haven't seen a Megatron yet, but and I don't buy Autobots apart from like off-kilter ones. I like RC because she's most of the like anime looking of all of them. But again, just really worth the money. Really nice figures.
Palp says unpopular opinion, but Burton's Batman movies are bad.
Well, you know what I liked about Burton's Batman movies is they felt like the last of the great comic book movies. It felt like comic book Batman. They called him the Penguin. He was called Batman. She was called Catwoman. They lived in this city where there were all these villains, and that's what I loved about it. Yeah, I've been playing these as well, Mark. This is what Claire picks up, and
no idea, T-Frost.
These little things, which are pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the Funko Pop things.
Yeah. But this again, I've been after for quite a while, and this is the doll I was buying. Every time I used to go, it was everywhere sold out completely of them. It started to become hot property. But I went into B&M's a couple of nights back, and they had a couple of them. So straight away, I thought, oh, I'm getting that, which is the Wednesday, because I love this show. It felt like Tim Burton's back on form. It was all creepy enough. I've always loved the Addams Family, and this
I love that show.
Looks like her the most.
She was great, wasn't she? I thought she was brilliant. Deadpan in it. She was really good. So
so I actually found it. So this is quite hot property at the moment. So
it's funny you say that. Quite found it, because in our Walmart, so they had loads of them. They never went out of stock. They always had them in.
Yeah.
So
just a cool looking figure.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dark Knight was good, cute. Yeah, I agree with that. Is it still Mattel? I don't know. It just Clash of the Titans. Maybe it was still, because Mattel did them, didn't they? I'm not sure. I can't remember Clash of the Titan figures, to be honest. You know. Yeah, it was, Cat. It was. It was really good Wednesday. I'm looking forward to season 2. Yeah, I can't wait to do it. I've done a couple of Addams Family furniture pieces, but I've never done Wednesday on her own, and I might just do the new one, you know, see what it's like. So.
And the last 2 mark I got was, I picked up the Batman Nightmare edition, again from the Justice League, but what a great figure that is.
Yeah.
And again, I love the art on the back of these, and like the photos, and Ben Affleck's Batman was fantastic. No matter what, he just was a great Batman without having a great Batman role. That was the only problem for him.
Yeah.
You know, would you have loved to have seen a Ben Affleck Batman movie? I would have loved to have done, because when he popped on screen as Batman, for once, for me, as a Batman fan, my entire life, I thought, he looks like Batman. He looks like Bruce Wayne. Big guy, square chin, good looking. And honestly, seeing him as Batman, I thought he was the so far what I've seen, the best looking Batman that's been on screen. That reminds me of. And the last is, again, I picked up these because, unlike you, Mark, I know what you say about these sort of figures, but I do love them. Do you know what I mean? And this is just the golden. I'll never open it, so the seal's on, but it's the full golden black Batman, the vampire version, but it's limited to a few.
Yeah, DTM says, "Oh, Nightmare Batman, I missed out on that one."
Yeah,
cool.
Still about, Dave. You can still get this on Comics and Cocktails, I think, or Props and Replicas. Still about, but it's worth picking up because it's just a limited edition number of them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so that's I love them sort of boxes. Yeah, lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, you got some good stuff there, Si. Nice collections, buddy. Yeah, awesome. Well, I haven't got anything that I picked up recently. I mean, a couple of people have sent me some stuff and so forth, but I was going through my stuff. So what I wanted to show you was, if I get that big right here, like so, come back to that, put me and you there like that. This is where I keep all my books and stuff. So it's on my page, but it's right here. So do you see that right there, Si?
Yeah.
And I keep a collection of, you know, things I find in flea markets and things, you know, and I went bang into the Star Wars novels when they first came, the old Timothy Zahn's, and there's my video cassette with the original videos and so forth. So I've always been a fan of like magazines and stuff like that side. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. So, but there's a couple of things I thought I'll show you that here we go. First of all, let's have a look. Kipster's Toys. Hey. Hi, Kipsters. He says, "Hi, guys. Love Batman 89. I was never a fan of Batman 66. You see, it's funny that, isn't it? You know, how you pick and choose your Batman. So thanks for coming in, though.
Yeah, it's funny that how wrong you are. Yeah, it's really funny.
Good old Kipsters here. Right, I'm off to run my lounge trip. Watch the rest of the stream. Catch up later. All right, buddy. No problem at all. Nice to see you. Right, so here's one thing, and it's going back to the Phantom Menace. Remember I said previously on the stream, I was finding the more we were talking about Phantom Menace, I found stuff out. Well, I found this ages ago at a flea market, and I'd never seen it before. So it's outfits for Padme Amidala side. So you get the Padme, and it's like those old cut-out ones where you make dresses out of them and so forth. Do you see what I mean?
They've got like tags on, and you flap them over, and you just stick them over.
Yeah, so how it works is you get your Padme, and you cut out all the outfits like that, and you stick them on her. So, but it's funny because you know, it's not a really big thing, and like this, do you know what I mean? And all our outfits and so forth, and you all cut out. So it's like paper dolls. Yeah, G-Force is right, like a paper doll thing. And so I just thought that, I thought that was really impressive. And I got it for like 20 cents or whatever. So
next to nothing.
Yeah. I also, that big hoarding thing that Jen did, I think I've shown these before, but they're worth looking at. These is a Transformers books from 1985, and it's just covers like that, Si.
Oh yeah, the graph cover, I love it.
Do you know what I mean? Like the graph covers and so forth. And what it is it's a list of storybooks that come in, and this is from 1985. And it's just stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? I mean, look at the artwork on them.
Oh, TJC's just left at a worst time, hasn't he?
Yeah. So
And a box strike back.
Yeah, look, just things
Battle
like this.
Drive. Oh, that feels like jazz there. Look at that original jazz. Just quality.
So I had that one. Final Faction. Did you ever get? I think you got Final Faction in your dollar stores over there, like Poundland and so forth. There were like dollar action figures that I was getting into every time I went to a Dollar Tree over here. I was buying Final Faction, Final Faction. They're like army, military. It's like a G.I. Joe, but dirt cheap size, like for $1 in Dollar Tree. Well, they made I didn't realize they actually made a comic of it, and I bought the comic, which is right there, Final Faction. So it's issue number 1.
I've never heard of it. Is it like a G.I. Joe rip-off? Is that like a Scarlet or something?
I've got boxes of Final Faction stuff. I think we got it more than you did over there, because I know Matt was getting into it, Zero Hunter Toys, but he kind of, the novelty wore off with him. He wasn't really that bothered about it later on. But I saw that, so I thought, you know what, I'll get that just in case. Do you know what I mean? And so I've kept all my final. I've stopped buying them now, but I must have hundreds of them because they're $1 a piece. Even the vehicles and the you know, and all that sort of stuff. So I was getting that. I found an old Wonder Woman comic, an old one. Look at that.
Yeah.
So DC. So what year is that? But you can tell it's old. Look at the back of it, Spalding and all that.
Yeah, quality. Well, that full mix. Catchy mix.
This I've talked about before, and you know the story about this. So me and Jen, as you know, we're in the furniture business. We go to this house in the middle of nowhere, middle of nowhere. And I was a bit concerned about this, like, where the France are we going here? Do you know what I mean? But we go to this guy, and he's got this huge barns after barns after barns. And he's selling everything, getting rid of some stuff. And you could tell this guy's been here for donkey's years. As we're in this place, for some reason, on the corner of my eye, I saw this blue thing, just like a book. And I don't know why, you know, just weird. I just looked up, and it was on this chest of drawers that was high. It was like a 9-10 foot chest of drawers. You know, like a cabinet. And it had old paints and stuff like that in. And this blue corner. It was just like that, this blue corner hanging out. So I thought, oh, and I picked it up. And it was that. The Last Starfighter colouring book, right there.
The Last Starfighter.
Right. So, and it's actually, the date is on it, and it's never been touched. I mean, it's all completely. So what's happened was someone's probably bought this, stuck it up there, and forgot about it for 45 years or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, because you never see Last Starfighter merchandise ever. You never see it. So I was like, oh, would you ever sell that or whatever? And he said, oh, you can just have it. So I thought, what? So, but I mean, look at that side. Just look at the.
Yeah, I mean? Proper ink drawings. Man.
Yeah, and I had a check on eBay for these when I saw them, and these aren't cheap colouring books, you know what I mean? But this one's been untouched. So what I reckon some kids bought it. And his mum's put it up there and just completely forgot all about it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, maybe that's six there, isn't it? There's a shop like that in Blackpool called iCollectibles. Yeah, and it's full of stuff. It's a mint toy shop, but there's that much stuff in it. DTM's been in, Scuba's been in, a few have been in.
Yeah,
but I think to myself, if you was to enter that shop, you'd probably find 30% of that shop you never even knew you had, because it's just amazing how it's all crammed in and on top of each other. And
look at this, Shabby. Were you waiting for the banjo music to start?
Ding, ding, ding.
We did the annual.
He took his own within, Jono. Sat in the back while Jen drove like that.
We did the annual stream a couple of months back, and I loved that stream. There was loads of us on, and you know, we had TJC, VTR, and all that. And annuals is a big thing in England. It's never really a big thing over here. But my mum now will still send me annuals, Everton annuals, Beano annuals. She'll always Star Wars annuals. Bless Anne-Marie, man. She always puts one in the Christmas thing. But I was out one day, and I'd gone to a flea market in Ashborough. G-Force and Scuba have been to Ashborough. It's an awesome place for antique store side. And I found this.
Centaurs.
Yeah, but it's like, look at the spine on its side.
You know what though?
It's
Centaurs to me, I remember having them as kids, but I don't
yeah.
remember the cartoon. I don't remember anything
I don't
like
remember the
around it.
cartoon. I don't remember the
No.
cartoon, but I do. I loved it. But I mean, same thing again for me to have. And that cost me $4. Side. That was it. And I couldn't believe it. It was in the middle of all these books. And I thought, oh, that's a definite that. So I love. This is one of the things about toy hunting for me is always flea markets and yard sales and thrift
Find some
shops.
mad
You
stuff.
just never know what you're going to find. Do you know what I mean? And so I got that one. Got a few Star Wars, Star Wars storybooks, whatever that I've pulled out. This is pretty cool. This is like an old lithograph thing, and it's from the 70s. But I've never worked out what it was. I don't know whether it came with a promotion thing and so forth, but it's a really old, it says SFX in the corner, Lucasfilm. But just like that. Do you see
Wasn't
what I
that
mean?
image on the back of it from the special editions though?
No, I think this is an original one because this is an original piece that you can tell it's really old. It's like on a piece of card. But how cool is that? So I just found that. That'll take you back. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah, I've still got mine here. That
Oh,
white one and a red one from St. Michael's, Marks and Spencer's.
I think a few lads have sent these in, but I've been trying to try and getting back into comics again. And one of the ones I really wanted to get into was the Masters ones. And it's the funniest thing is like over here, I don't know what it's like in England side, but everywhere you go, rows and rows and rows of comics. There's one guy in Sanford Antique Mall, Simon, that's selling all the Joe comics, but they're like $15 to $40. And I'm not Joed enough to, because I'd love to buy them and they're all mint condition, but I'd have to
Connor
touch
bought a load of Joe figures. He got a bit of a bargain when the toy fair, I think it was a toy fair, or was it Echo? I think it was a toy fair. But Connor come across this big box. It was completely full of G.I. Joe comics. And he got a good deal. He got a good selection of comics for, I can't remember what he paid for him, but it was a right good deal.
But that's the thing, you see, because I'm not that experienced, especially in comics, and especially when it comes to G.I. Joe, I don't want to spend like $40 on and then for Super Awesome or Jeff to turn around and call Shabby, that's worth a $5. Do you know what I mean? So
I had that, £2.
The next time G-Force is here or Scooby's here, I'm going to take him there and say, what do you reckon? Because these comics are immaculate. But yeah, we've been getting the Masters
people
ones.
that know. Oh, I remember that cover. Yeah, I remember that cover.
Can you help me out here? Who are Star Comics? It says Marvel right there, but then as you go up, it says Star Comics.
I think Star Comics were a bit like Image, where they started in the beginning, where it's just like a sister company, a bit like how Vertigo is with DC.
Got you. James Bond books. Now, there was 4 of these at the back. There's James Bond storybooks I'd never even seen, but there's the 4 right here. And they had it in this is again in Nashville for $2. I thought, oh, I'll definitely get that.
What is it? Page written or is it comic?
No, it's a page. It's both really. It's like that.
Oh man!
So it's like a comic storybook, if you will.
Yeah, splash panels. Yeah.
So I picked up that. I thought that was pretty cool. David Wilder Toys sent me this. This is a storybook of Return of the Jedi, as you can see. Yeah. And I thought that was dead now. I think he sent it to a couple of people. He'd come across a batch of him, didn't he? He sent me one, which was awesome. And I always thought, because I don't remember having these as a kid or whatever. And there it was right there. Do you know what I mean? But Jen found me this.
Yeah, mint.
Star Wars one. So obviously, when you open it up, it comes with the book and the vinyl or whatever. And I always thought that was pretty cool to have. And I think that cost her about $8. That was it. So all I need to find there is the Empire Strikes Back one. And I think these are pretty cool to have. So they're pretty cool. Going back to James Bond side, I found a James Bond comic for your eyes only.
Look at that quality. I never just love Indian ink covers. I just love them. It's such a shame when you look at most comics today and they're all digital image. They're not a shame. They're amazing covers. I don't know why I said that. Yeah. But for me, as an Indian ink artist, when I see Indian ink covers, it it's the time of my life I just love.
So yeah, but again, Marvel Comics, they covered so many licenses, because usually when you think of Marvel, you think of Spider-Man and that kind of thing. But I didn't realize that there was a James Bond comic. I saw it and I thought, oh right, I'll take that then. So again, I don't know if they're worth anything or whatever. DTM, and I've always been fascinated by this, and DTM sent me these Back to the Future comics.
Oh, look at that cover. It's actually nice. Enchantment under the sea.
I kept these. I have a big batch full of. I'm not the world's biggest comic book collector. I did with all the Star Wars, whatever, but I kept them all nice at the bottom. But I thought I'd pull these out because I've never seen these before. You know what I mean? Back to the Future comics like that.
No.
by IDW, and but that, I mean, things like that, you know, the Back to the Future comics and so forth. So that was really, really awesome. Last time I had Scuba Pete on, we were talking about the Delta 17 lads and what they're doing with their figures and so forth. And that's their first issue that they did. I got this at Joe Fest side, and all the lads and the creators and whatever, they all signed it for me. It's got Mega J Retro on there and Kempo on there and a few other lads. So that was pretty cool. I got them all to sign that, which was really nice for him to do that, to tell you the truth. So, and their figures, I don't know whether you're starting to get Delta 17 in the UK or not, but wow, man, they are nice. I know Scuba's got a few of them, and they're really, really nice to look at. You ready for this? Did it?
Hey, look at that front cover there. Who's there on the front? Is that Ian St. John?
I don't know. I haven't got my glasses on, size. It's 1974. Everton.
John Connolly. Up front for toffees.
Looks like everybody's dad, doesn't he? Look.
Look at that. Des T, 1978.
But it is funny. Look, you remember all these World Cup 74, going through all the World Cup stars 74 and so forth. So yeah, I found an old Beano Si.
Oh, quality. They're some of the greatest artists, ink artists of them all. Do you know what? The Beano and the Dandy and the Withering Chips and things like that, they taught me so much as a kid because they were simplified. You know, they were a level before comic drawings of like your 2000 AD and your Marvel and your DC look. And they taught me so much as a kid. They really did.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, Withering Chips, mint, all of them.
Look at the back. Look at the advertisement for the back.
Do you know what? I love it. Do you not see when you see like the original like skinhead Weetabix and they did the breakdancing and stuff? They're always on adverts at the back of comics, aren't they?
Spider-Man at 10p side, 10p for this, but it's like a paper. It's weird this because it's like an old. It's more like tissue, not tissue paper, but Spider-Man Weekly. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
So I had that, and then look at that, Mr. Bellamy's.
Oh, no way. I used to love them wheels. Yeah, remember them wheels they did? Yeah. And you could rip a bit off and still save a bit.
But now I understand what, you know, I'm not a comic book guy like you are, but now I understand what you mean when you look at artwork like that.
That's what I mean. But again, that's just engine ink and pencil. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. It always was back in the day. It still is now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from digital artists, but I will take at least 40% of the hard work out. That's what I think I will say.
Oh, look, there's things about Thor and Iron Man. So that's pretty cool. What's the date? Let me just see if I can find a date on that. Yeah, 1979. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? And the last things I want to show, I always hear the lads talk about these, and I never, ever got into them, and I never really knew about them until later on. And it was these. Do you remember these? Star Wars Insider magazines.
Yeah, there's a few here of them, Insiders, yeah.
So I picked up a couple. This guy was selling. I bought some furniture and they were there, and he was only asking about 50 cents each or whatever. So I just thought I'd pick up a few of them like that. But I never.
love that as well. Did you not love that? Like the sort of water paint coloured art of the Clone Wars, the way it looked like it was brushstrokes in digital. I thought the Clone Wars was done so well in art.
And there's another one like a colouring book and so forth of that right there. Star Wars, the Rebel Alliance, and the Imperial Forces. Look at this. So I just thought I'd pull out a couple of things like that to show. It's funny, isn't it? The things that he's like, you're never going to make a video on stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're never going to like, oh, I can't wait to show everybody. But it's nice to do streams like this and shows. I think we've all got stuff like that. But that's where Tub Thumpers came from as well, wasn't it, Si? Showing off stuff.
That's what it was born out of. What people got in him. What crap have you got?
Yeah, let's just get back to the chat before we go. So I just, enjoyed that. Let's have a look. My sweet, that sector. Yeah, it's funny because it doesn't say annual on it.
My sweet dick.
I remember Rob's retro turning around and he was like, "What the France is an annual?" You know, he didn't get what an annual was, and I explained to him that it was every Christmas and so forth. And it's funny because we did say on the annual stream, didn't we, Simon, that it's something we never asked for an annual, but you're always glad you got one. Everyone was
so I was surprised, like you said, that it wasn't an American thing. I thought, if anything, we got annuals from America. I thought that's one place we would have definitely picked them up from, but apparently not.
Awesome, fine, Shabby. Matt says, I just picked up a Sectars read along with a cassette. See, that's the thing. I just got a Masters of the Universe one. I found a Masters of the Universe one with the cassette still. But the next time I'll do a stream, I'll show a couple more things like that. But that's what I mean when you come across things like that Sectars. It's not really a thing you're going to find in the wild as much. I mean, the figures you probably will, because I know Baz has just picked up. Baz was showing us this morning. He's just got a load of them for like £2.
Baz
You know what I mean? Yeah, Baz did. Yeah. Yeah, it's in mint condition. I couldn't believe it. So, you know,
yeah, because normally 9 times out of 10, when you go back to an annual now, they've been drawn in, they've been written in, they've been messed about with, coloured in or something, haven't they? Let's be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had to pick up a mint one, Mark. Yeah, I suppose a great condition like that.
Yeah, I love picking up comics. So you see, Si was always the comic bloke for me, Si, when we were kids. So I like him here and there. But as I'm getting older, it's like when you see I think I've appreciated through you, Si, the artwork of these, because it's not until I've heard you the way you talk about the artwork and so forth. I'm like, yeah, now I
just think to comic book readers outside of cinema goers is that we could all extend our stories more than anybody else. Like you could go and watch Indiana Jones and RoboCop and Star Wars and even Enter the Dragon. Well, then you could also buy comics of these every single week, every 2 weeks, comics are released. So it kept the stories going for you. That's what I always loved.
Kieran says you have to be careful with G.I. Joe comic books because Marvel. See, and you've hit the nail on the head, Kieran, because that's one of the reasons I didn't buy him, because they are mint condition. But then, as a person who's very inexperienced with G.I. Joe, I'm like, is this word? I'll give you a prime example. I'll tell you a story. About 3 years ago, Si, we're walking around this flea market and I come across these 12-inch G.I. Joes, this 12-inch G.I. Joe starter pack. It was like for action men. Do you remember when you got starter packs where you got extra jackets and extra backpacks and extra weapons and all that?
Yeah.
So there was no figure and it was all that.
Yeah.
It was $10. And I thought I was Indiana Jones finding the Grail. So I was like, oh, the lads are going to be so jealous for this. Do you know what I mean? Like it was Shabby's version of a vinyl cape jammer in the wild, you know. So I bought it, right? And I'm like, oh, $10. This is a bargain and so forth. And I'm looking at it, mint condition side, bubble on it and all that. Get home, put a picture up, and I'm like, what do you think to this? And all the lads are being nice. Oh, yeah, Shabby, it's pretty good and so forth. Talking to Super Awesome, right? And I pulled it out and I went, what do you think of this? And he went, oh, yeah, Shabby, that's all right. I said, how much do you think that's worth? He went, about $8.
Oh, but you went.
Do you know what I mean? Apparently, it wasn't worth anything, Simon. And
nice to have, I suppose.
It's my Trans Am money right here.
Yeah.
So what Kieran says, I agree with you. If it's especially when it's a franchise, Simon, that's been going for so many years, you just don't. If you're not 100% sure, it's better to be like, well, you know.
Yeah.
My best advice for any collective: if it's worth that much money to you, then it's a good deal. However, couldn't agree more. And that's one of the nicest things. I waited to buy Simon something special from Joe Fest last year. And the person I got hold of, because I knew Si's into Marvel and comics and so forth, they had loads of Toy Biz stuff there. The person I got hold of was Super Awesome. Who else, Si? Who else would know like John did? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
of course.
Really nice one. And John was explaining the history of it. And that's what, going back to what we were saying before. That's one of the nicest things about the collecting sphere for me, is the fact that we're surrounded by people who do know. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah.
That's it. It's always nice to have like your VTR days around and your Connors around for G.I. Joe and all stuff like that around you, when not necessarily for yourself, but again, like if you're picking up for somebody and somebody asks you to get something, you'd rather have their opinions of others, wouldn't you? Yeah, it's worth it. Or you get a better one here, that's cheaper there, that's whatever, or that's missing that, you know.
And I think it's the best way to be that, because me and you especially, I can talk about me and you. We've never been, if I don't know about something, I'm not going to make it out like I do. I'm not going to be one of those lads that knows everything and and this and that's over. But I find it fascinating, Si, and interesting to learn of other people. That's one of the best things about Tub Thumpers, I think, Si. When me and you were sat there.
I think the gratitude of it, even if you know about stuff, occasionally you're going to get things wrong. Okay? You don't know it all. I'm a big Batman fan. I have been for 45 years. I don't know it all. Do you know what I mean?
IDW, Kieran says, perhaps a future comic book from 2000. Yeah, I'll keep them. I mean, DTMs, I keep every gift that they have. I just thought they were fascinating. I never knew. That's the thing about comics. It's such a wide thing. And sometimes for someone like me, Simon, who's not into it like you are, It's overwhelming. Like, wow.
Oh, well, some of the lads will tell you, it's like me, why I'm called Manga Fandango. If you think comic books are vast and wild, you try getting into manga. There's no end to it. There's no beginning, there's no end.
I've almost got a complete one of the Back to the Future comics. I need another. So there was quite a few of them, DTM. Right,
I can imagine Dave's got them because he's a massive Back to the Future fan, and he loves Back to the Future.
Yeah. They seem like the Sunday newspaper copy, kind of, but it was a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Was the Beano and the Dandy weekly, Simon? I think it was, wasn't it? The lads will know. Or was it 2 weeks?
I'm sure in this country, Chris will correct me, but I'm sure in this country it was every 2 weeks. I think it was every Wednesday of every second week.
Right. Here we go.
I remember that's how my Batman was. My Batman was every 2 weeks. I could only get Batman every 2 weeks. So
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks it was.
And then the graphic novels, did that become like, was that like one book a year, Si? Because I know you've got
novels in a way. Back in the 90s, graphic novels killed comic books for me, because instead of now rushing out to these shops every 2 weeks and getting each an individual issue, graphic novels would work from issue 1 to issue 6,
Matt.
stick them all together, and that's volume 1. Then they'd go from issue 7 to issue 12, 13, stick them all together, volume 2. And I stuck with that because back in the early 90s, they did a really good job of it. Now they don't. Now it's just absolutely all over the place. Now I don't know where to begin, where to start. Why didn't they finish doing off the graphic novels in the numbers? What are all these individual stories now? I don't know what the hell's going on these past.
Oh, sometimes I hear you and Smith though talking. You talk about different Robins and different this, and no, that's Batman. I'm like, well, that's not. I'm all over the place sometimes. I mean, you've got to be knowing the ball, aren't you, really? Matt Clayton said, I sent a letter to Star Wars Insider and made it into an issue. That's pretty cool. Those Star Wars Insider magazines are cool. I just love stuff like that. I like finding stuff, and do you know what I mean? And it always gives you, especially us lot. I mean, you'll know, you all of you will know what I'm talking about. You know, you find something, you think, yeah, that's awesome. You know.
Yeah,
79 comics. I used to read a fair number of comics back then. Brilliant, great Shabs. Yeah, I've enjoyed this a lot, Simon. What a nice, and Sam, we've had over 60 all the way through, except for now everyone's going to bed, aren't they? But thank you all so much. It's lovely to see you all here and go through some stuff. We've had a great chat. Excuse me. Anything to say, Sam, before we go?
Yeah, don't forget to watch ZSR on Friday night. What have you got on?
I don't know. Tez has got something planned apparently for ZSR on Friday. So we're on Tez's channel on Friday. He's got something planned. So yeah.
Jokes then the Americans mix up with anals.
Our episode's great show, lads. Should tune in more often. Oh, it's lovely to see you. Guy in Glasgow, John Byrne, wrote the Masters of the Universe read-along comics, by the way. He invented Skeletons and books about cave boy characters called Little.
It's amazing, you know, when you look back into it, especially them old 80s cartoons of Dungeons and Dragons and Masters of the Universe. How many famous writers and people that went on into the industry, like Paul Dini's another one, wrote for Masters of the Universe, wrote for Dungeons and Dragons, and ended up writing for the Batman animated and created Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I understand.
Talented guys, aren't they? These guys could tell a story though, couldn't they? They could come up with a character and tell you a story that's lasted all this time. You know what I mean?
Des has put it perfectly. I could not put it better than what Des is. Every day is a school day. He's exactly. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. That's great. Smith Lord said Batman was every 2 weeks by Fleetway Editions. I think it might have been Tuesdays it was released, but Wednesdays was a good day to get a new one. I had mine say. Super Awesome said something about that. There's a special comic book day. Is it like a Tuesday or a Thursday somewhere where comic books come out on that day?
They still do a year now where they do comic book day where you can go into any comic book, mostly Forbidden Planet, and you can pick up 6 comic books out of like 20 for free to get you back into comics and back into reading. And I like to collect the ones that do that of the new characters, something new. Do you know what I mean? Something new that I'd like to pick up on. And
well, everyone seemed to enjoy it. Everyone's saying what a great show. Thanks, honestly. Thank you. That's really, really nice thing to say. It really is. Cheers. No, I appreciate it. And thanks everyone for joining in. Tell us your stories. And you know, that's why I love doing this. Like I said, that's why I love doing live streams. I was talking before about the Patreon and my monetizing of my channels and so forth. That's why I really never monetize my channels, because I never wanted it to come across. This is just my opinion. I'm not talking about anybody else or anybody else's channel, just the Shabby Geek channel. I always wanted us all to feel involved. I never wanted any of you to think, oh, I have to pay super chats or I have to. No, and I don't think I'll ever will monetize it. So that's why I did the Patreon. So I really appreciate when people write, cheers, Shabby and Si. It means a lot to me. It really does. So I thank you all so much. Tonight's live stream chat. Night, everyone. Take care.
Cheers,
great stream. Good night, Shabby and Si.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Gerard. And I hope you had a nice birthday, my friend. Great stream and chat, everyone. See you all Friday night for ZSR. Come on, Red Ben, tomorrow night. Oh, yeah.
Overturn it. I don't think it'll be a problem back at Anfield 1-0. I think it'll be all right.
Let's have a look. I think the DC replays were bi-weekly and the Marvel repeats were weekly. Right, interesting. Right, okay. No, thank you for getting involved. I really appreciate everybody doing it. New release day for comics was Wednesday.
I just remember doing stuff, and if I did my grand's garden or something like that as a kid, and I'd get me fiver, and I could go and get some sweets and stuff, and I could always get that Batman comic. And I always remember it being like a second Wednesday. Every second Wednesday was when it was out. So I'd always be at my gran the Tuesday before.
That's nice. Wednesdays hasn't been the same since Tub Thump. Well, we're back on the 19th. TJC's our first guest on Tub Thumpers, so that'll be awesome seeing TJC stuff. Because he's a dark horse TJC. He's got some awesome stuff, so it'll be great.
He does. He's one of them that sits there quiet. It's not vocal, but he'll shock you with the stuff he pulls out.
Yeah, it does. So we'll be back on the 19th for that. Next Wednesday's the Merseyside Derby, so I don't think we'll be doing anything for that. We'll be side. But
I don't know. There's talk about doing that Star Wars show, but if we do, we might do it after them and start at 10. So do an hour and a half or do it till 12. Like start at 10 o'clock because it looks like that's the best night everyone can do it, where we can get the 10 on. And I think it might be next Wednesday after the Derby.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
Well, he calls it a derby. I call it a walkover.
Anyway, and on that note, we'll say goodnight. Thanks, Si. It's been awesome. And thank you all so much. It's been brilliant.
Cheers,
I've loved it. We'll see you all soon. See you Friday. See you, everyone.
Take care.